All rise for the Honorable Judge Starshard. You may be seated. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the People's Court out of here. We'll start up our theme music for this evening. You're probably wondering, what are we doing tonight? Well, let me tell you. We're going to be looking at some posts on Reddit r/am-I-the-asshole. And we're going to be delivering our I'm going to be delivering my judgment, and you can agree or disagree, whatever. I stole the idea from Northernlion. And I think it's going to be a good time. So why don't we head over there? Hang on. Gotta make sure everything is set up properly. It looks... I don't... did they have to make the downvote like a butthole? Is that necessary? I don't typically use new Reddit, so... Alright, here we are. Post number 1. Am I the asshole for bringing my baby to a child-free wedding? I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, yes, but let's try to read what she has to say, or he has to say. My cousin lives a 6-hour drive for me and the rest of our family. Hello, cat. A few months ago, we all drove over there for his wedding. Due to limited space, no children were invited to the wedding except the bride's young nieces and nephews. My baby was 10 months old at the time, and I wasn't comfortable leaving him alone in an unfamiliar place with a stranger, which was a babysitter that my other cousins hired for their own kids. So I decided to bring him to the wedding. I wrote on the RSVP that I was bringing him, but he would be sitting on my lap and I would bring my own food for him. My cousin didn't say anything, so I assumed that he was okay with it. My baby cried at the ceremony. All right, asshole right here. Let's go. But I quickly took him out of the room. At the reception, I had him with me the whole time in a body carrier. He didn't make much of a fuss, and I thought everything was okay. After the wedding, my aunt, the groom's mom, confronted me and told me that I was rude for bringing my baby without permission. I explained that I wrote in the RSVP that nobody apparently read what I was planning to do, but my cousin didn't object. She said that my cousin and his bride had a problem with it, but the bride didn't want me to start any drama because she doesn't know me well. My other cousin's baby was 7 months old at the time, and my aunt said that he had no problems leaving his baby with the certified, I don't know why that's in scare quotes, babysitter, and I should have done the same. And some of my cousins were upset because they thought the groom gave me special treatment by letting me bring my baby and making them leave their kids with a babysitter. I didn't mean to start any drama. Am I the asshole? Yes, you are the asshole. So, okay, let's go back to the top here. Due to limited space, no children were invited to the wedding except the bride's young nieces and nephews. Okay. It's not a child-free wedding, obviously, because the nieces and nephews were there. So it's not child-free. I don't have any kids. So I don't know what the like stress is on leaving a 10-month-old with a babysitter. That doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Like, okay. Like, okay. Brainy Bay says, you're the asshole. Your baby literally did the thing that the bride/groom wanted to avoid. Disrupt the ceremony. You had plenty of time to find a babysitter or other family member to watch your kid while you went to the wedding. Oop. We got the chat screen going now. But decided you were just above the rules. Or, here we go, this is a follow-up. If you're really not comfortable leaving your baby with the sitter, just don't go to the wedding. Staying home is always an option. No, you don't understand. Okay. Let's close this here. People like you get on my nerves. Child-free means child-free. You do not get to change the rules of someone's wedding because you didn't want a babysitter. It's very entitled. You're the asshole. Wow, this is... Yeah. Wow. All right. Couldn't you just not have attended? You're the asshole. You can't just write in a +1. You're the asshole. Don't bring a baby. Okay, I will. Wow. Oh, they are just destroying this poster. This is great. You're the asshole. Absolutely, without question. I'm not even seeing like a not the ass. Yeah. Did you make any attempt to contact them about this besides the RSVP? Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any not the assholes here. This is pretty cut and dry. You're the asshole. You brought a kid. It disrupted the ceremony. Fair enough. All right. What did you miss, Emmykins? You missed us judging this post. Am I the asshole for bringing my baby to a child-free wedding? The verdict was yes, you're an asshole. All right. Post number 2. Am I the asshole for not telling my cousin my fiance works at the same office as her husband? Okay, hang on. What? Am I the asshole for not telling my cousin that, which the that is implied here in the English language, that my fiance works at the same office as her? Okay, so her cousin's husband works in the same office as her fiance. What? Okay, what is the actual question? Okay, literally 2 days later. So we understand like what the just, I'm not going to read the whole thing unless we need to. Literally 2 days later, I get a DM from Kat and she's furious that I didn't tell them that Chris was one of Henry's bosses. Henry was shocked to see him in the office and Chris made a comment, tell Kat, OP and me don't need help, but thanks for offering. What? What? Okay, we're gonna have to read the whole post because I am so confused. First/only post. Yeah, it's probably a throwaway. I mainly lurk. I thought stuff like this only happened in movies, but it happened. Like some unbiased opinions. Unbiased, yeah. Don't go to Reddit for that. More lighthearted than some of the other posts on here. I have a cousin, Kat. Okay, so the cousin is Kat, who got married to Henry, so they're together. Her and her cousin were not close as kids. She was pretty spoiled. Is that right? Spoiled? And would always brag about how much designer stuff she... All right, okay, so she's a mean girl. Be really mean to people under the guise of just trying to help, etc. Don't go out of our way to interact with one another, but I do see her at family events and whatnot, and we make small talk. So I haven't seen any of my cousins in like 20 years, so I guess I don't know how much people typically interact with their cousins. I'm engaged to Chris. All right, so we have a third person. Now we have Chris. So we have Kat, we have Henry, we have Chris, who is a software engineer. He's and we also have OP. So we got OP, Kat, Henry, and Chris. That's too many people. Kat and okay, I'm engaged to Chris, who is a software engineer. He's co-head of his department at work with 2 other people. Not too long ago, Chris was telling me about how they had some new employees and one of them sounded really familiar. He told me the name. I realized it was Kat's husband, Henry. They had not met face to face. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that. Kat and Henry had a huge wedding. It was really nice, but all she did for months is brag about how amazing her wedding was. The wedding stuff has died down now, so recently she started going on about how wealthy her husband is and what a great lifestyle they have. One of my other aunts celebrated her 50th about a week ago. I went with Chris and Kat was there. I went with Chris and Kat was there with Henry. We were chatting and Kat was saying how Henry has a fantastic new job that pays even more than his previous one. Henry chimed in and said that they were already planning to buy a new house. Oh, nice. Lucky you, yeah. Kat asked what Chris does. I said he was an engineer like Henry and he has a good job too. But I'll admit I left out where he works on purpose. She smiled and nodded, then said it's fine. She understands that I'm embarrassed and want to keep it quiet. Oh no. So that was pretty much the end of our conversation. Then when we were leaving, she pulled me aside and told me to let her and Henry know if we needed help with the wedding. Obviously I knew what she meant and it was just another dig, but I said bye and left. Okay. So then we get to the part where she's pissed. Not the asshole. Her cousin seems to be an asshole though. Kind of boring. Let's make sure that we pick out some good ones. Am I the asshole for my response to my brother-in-law's truth serum? Hang on. Wait a minute. I, male 33, am a former drug addict. I've been clean for over 11 years, congratulations, and I'd established a good home life for me and my wife. We are now ready to adopt. Can't have our own kids to blah, blah, blah. Okay, didn't ask, don't need to know. So anyway, we visited my in-laws' house to have dinner and break the news to them. Brother-in-law was there with his wife and kids. Frankly, brother-in-law and don't get along all too well. Who? Brother-in-law and me, maybe? He, for some reason, keeps bringing up my past, which is annoying to an extent, but I never said anything about it. He says he has what he called truth serum, which enables him to tell it how it is and never sugarcoat any. Okay, so his brother-in-law's an asshole. Emmykin says, so the cousin is mad that this lady's husband is her cousin's husband's boss. Yes, that does seem to be what the previous post was about. He has what he called truth serum. So he tells it like it is, chat. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. We were sitting when the topic of adoption came up. Mother-in-law and father-in-law congratulated, I'm going to call it Mill and Phil, congratulated us and hoped that everything will work out. But Bill stared silently for a while, then said, I'm not sure how a druggie can be eligible to adopt. I paused and the room got quiet. My wife tried to change the topic, but I asked Bill what that was about. He shrugged and just said he was just under the effect, man, this guy needs to learn how to write, of the truth serum. I absolutely went off on him and told him I too just taken my truth serum and it's beginning to kick in so fast. I then began berating him saying I'm not on drugs. That's what a person on drugs would say. I have been clean for 11 plus years and I will gladly take a DNA test, a urine, blood, hair sample, a stool sample, and a lie detector to prove it. I then brought up his smocks, alcohol, and prescription drug intake and told him to look in the fucking mirror to see who the real druggie is. Okay. He was absolutely shocked. Even his wife was in shock. I then casually sat down and resumed eating from my plate. Bill got up from his chair silently and went outside. I was awkward. It was awkward, I could tell. His wife then got the kids and rushed out. My wife and her mom followed her, trying to get her and Bill to get back inside, but they left. My wife started yelling at me. I slapped the chicken nuggets out of her hand for what I said to her brother and said this is who is but I escalated thing to ruin dinner, and when I could have ignored him, I didn't know. I admit I let my anger get the best of me and I could have kept my composure, but felt like I was done with it. Okay, so former drug addict having dinner with his in-laws. His brother-in-law makes like a snide remark like, oh, I didn't know they would let someone like you adopt a kid. And then he just goes off on him. I think he handled it poorly. I think he's an asshole, but I think his brother-in-law's an asshole. I'm going to go with everybody sucks here. Let's see. Not the asshole? No, come on. Not the, okay, we're getting a lot of not the assholes here. Is there... Hold on. There's no like verdict bot on this. They're both assholes. Yeah, that's an option. So there's you're the asshole, not the asshole, everybody sucks here, more information needed, or nobody's the asshole. So there's 5 verdicts. Not the asshole. All right, a lot of not the assholes here. Booty your wife. Ooh, she could have stood up for you. Who lets their family treat their spouse like that? That's a good point. But man, that's a tough one to say. Like, we weren't there. We don't know how he handled it. Like you could easily imagine this. We don't get the, you know, the patterns of speech in text, right? So it could have been something like, oh, I'm surprised that they, you know, let former drug addicts adopt. That's really interesting. Versus, I'm surprised that, you know, he's taking like a drink of whiskey or whatever. I'm letting a druggie like you adopt a kid. You know, there's different ways you can. We're going through the lens of the poster, right? Not the asshole, not the asshole. If your wife's reaction to someone being an asshole to you and you defend yourself is to yell at you, then you should reconsider adopting a child with her. Holy shit, chat. That's a red flag, man. She should have put a stop to that first time he made a remark. These guys are going off. Not having a child with her yet is actually a blessing in disguise based on how she chose to handle the situation. This definitely doesn't sound like the first time she chose not to stand up for her husband. Jeez. Not the if thou dishes out true serum, thou should take it. Also, by your wife's logic, your bill could have ignored you too to keep the peace. Oh boy. All right. Not a super spicy one. I just wanted to know what the heck truth serum was. That's a weird way to describe it. Am I the asshole for wanting to report this creepy / weird guy at the gym? Sorry, that was me. I was just tying my shoe. I know it looked a little weird. It's fine. You know, when my gut pops out like a can of biscuits, it's just, I have my clothes are a little bit too small for me probably. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she would have been an awful mother? Okay. I don't know if I want to touch that one. Am I the asshole for taking legal action against my family? Am I the asshole for publicly telling this guy, this is a college party, you are 26, and kicking him out of my party? Okay, hang on. I went to college when I was 26. What are you trying to say, buddy? All right, come on. I do fencing in college. I'm on a team with women and men together. We have house parties sometimes, and this year, since 2 of my teammates and I rented a house together, we became the obvious choice to be the party house, and we're happy to host. All right. You want to be the party house? I understand. I'm a junior in college, and my friends are a junior and a senior. We invited the whole current fencing team along with some friends and people's partners. There's this guy, Pete, who is 26 and out of college for a few years. Okay, all right. So it's a weirdo. But he keeps trying to come by college parties and hit on the freshmen and sophomores. Is this a setup for like a joke? As an underclassman, it always pissed me off when the people throwing the parties would let him in, and other guys who had graduated, because I and the other classmen girls just wanted to party with people our age, not deal with creepy losers trying to get with college girls. It also pissed me off it was played off like a joke with freshman girls being called fresh meat. This is just a movie plot. Come on. So when I started throwing parties, I decided I'd do it different. My parties would be for current team members, their partners, and their college-age friends, but no random guys who were clinging to their old college sports team to meet girls way too young for them. And if anyone causes trouble, they're kicked out. So I threw a party and put in the invite text that this was a college party for the current team members and you could bring a partner or a friend. But if you wanted to invite more than one person, or someone not from our school, to please clear it with me first. It was super clear in the invites that this was a college party for college students, and on the day of, I got a knock on my door and it's this guy who's been out of college for years. How did he find out about this? I tell him this is a college party for whatever state university, and he said he's an alumni and did fencing. I tell him I've been in the club for 3 years and he hasn't been at one practice. He said he graduated the year before that. I asked him his age and he says 26. I'm getting frustrated, so I yelled, "This is a college party. You're 26, loser." Can't imagine a 26-year-old might be a college student, and tell him to leave. A couple guys on the team felt like I was unfair because he'd always be invited to parties in the past years when a few guys who have since graduated hosted. I was like, well, just because somebody else invited him to their party didn't mean I invited him to mine, question mark. Like, why is he coming to my house if someone else invited him to some other party? They said that these were generally open house parties and it was the norm that alumni are invited. I got irritated and said maybe alumni need to not piss off the fresh meat, lest the fresh meat grows up and tell them to fuck off. I feel kind of conflicted. On one hand, I didn't invite this guy or want him around, but on the other, I did pick up the tradition of hosting club parties and change the rules just because I'm the host now. Am I the asshole for kicking this alumni out when he tried to come to a college party? Okay. So, speaking from the position of someone who was in the army and then went to college from like 23. When did I, hang on, okay, I was 18. I got out when I was 23. Started college when I was like 24. So I was in college for 4 years. I would have got out when I was 29. I would have been 26. So I could have theoretically been on this fencing club. So I feel like, I mean, the guy's been out of college and it seems like he's just hanging out to pick up chicks. So it's a little sketchy. But I mean, he's 26. It's not like he's in his 30s, you know, like half your age plus 7, that's 20. So maybe don't go for the freshmen or the sophomores, but the juniors and seniors are theoretically okay. You know why he keeps hanging around freshmen? Because he keeps getting older, they stay the same age. Okay, not the asshole. Those people are called high school hang-ons or college Klingons. If you're out of college, stop going to college party, especially if it's been 3+ years. Not the asshole, that guy is weird. Let's see. Cat's gotta go outside, so Emmykins will be gone for a bit, I guess. Not the asshole, they aren't a student anymore. It seems predatory. He insists on coming to parties post-graduation. Especially because it seems like a relatively open party versus a friend's party. Plenty of people are friends 2 years up or down in college. Going to something they're hosting is a world different than a club sports party 4 years out. Yeah, okay, this guy's got... If he just chilled and talked about fencing, I doubt anyone would be upset. Dude's a creep and made himself unwelcome. There you go. You're my hero, not the asshole. You're hosting a party at your house. Not the asshole, it's your house, your party. Your house, your rules. Yeah. Dude sounds like a creep. What if these guys were 50? Would they still be like, I'm an alumni, let me in? Oh boy. Not the asshole. I feel like it would be acceptable for 23-year-olds to continue attending parties if they had friends who are a year or two younger and still in school. By the time you're 26, all your friends from college would have already graduated. 26-year-olds have no business creeping on 18 to 20-year-olds. Fuck that, you did the right thing. There are people who finish college after 26. Yeah. Came here to say this. This post made me feel really old. I'm only 27 and getting my bachelor's next year. It's less about age with the creepy behavior. Exactly. All right, so I'm going to say this guy's not the asshole, but it shouldn't be because you're 26. It's like, okay, you're an alumni. This is for current members and their friends only, or their partners only. Okay. Am I the asshole for not being more understanding and refusing to accept a half-assed apology? So we have a potential 1.5 asses in this one, chat. All right. 30. I have 2 sons. I left their father 5 years ago because he chose his mother over me. We got another one of these. Okay. Not and refuse. Okay. No, I don't think that's very interesting. Am I the asshole for saying it's not my problem? Is this Spider-Man? My cousin Jim, in his 40s, has always been a problem. 3 baby mamas, never held down a job. Jim and his mom was adored by my grandma. They could never do any wrong. All right, I don't care. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my wife's mom live with us even after my wife brought her bags in behind my back? Okay, that's just sad. Like, your mother-in-law doesn't have a place to live and your wife is like, okay, mom, you can come live with us. And because you're the man, you're going to put your foot down and be like, no. All right. So we've gotten through, I guess, the spicy ones. Let's sort this by the top of this month. Okay. Am I the asshole for walking out of the airport when I saw my husband's mom standing there with her luggage? What? Okay. All right. All right. Hello. Hello. I don't know where to begin. It's been an absolute nightmare recently, and I feel like I was losing my sanity. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. So, for more details about my situation, I have to admit that my husband's mom favors him over all his siblings. This affected his relationship with them and me as well. He's never seen an issue with how differently his mom treats him. It bothered me and made me feel uncomfortable. Okay, the whole dynamic made me feel uncomfortable. Going low contact has never been an option. Like he has to see her or call her every day. That's okay. I'm sure my mom would love it if I called or saw her every day. Most of his siblings don't talk to him, and I 100% believe it's because of his mom's favoritism, like I said. He does bear some blame for not seeing how wrong this is till this day. There's no like specifics here. Like maybe him and his mom just have like a close relationship. Like they just kind of vibe a little bit better, but I'm sure there's some implications regarding some kind of like narcissistic behavior or whatever. In many instances, I found myself making excuses for his behavior. Even in my post, I did it spontaneously and I don't know why, but I guess it's because of how much I love him and because I really, really wanted to be able to work this type of things out without letting them affect our marriage. This is an update to something. Hang on. There's an original post. Okay. I guess we have to read the original first. Let's check this out. Am I the asshole for walking out of the airport when I saw my husband's mom standing there with her luggage? I, female 30, don't have the best relationship with my husband's mom. Just like we watched the sequel before we watched the original. What's going on here? Since day one, she tried to make remarks and compare me to her. Like, how specifically? She then tried to get on my good side and started overly praising everything I do, and sometimes even copying me, like that one time when she literally dyed her hair purple, just like mine, and when everyone pointed out how ridiculous she looked, she actually blamed me and accused me of trying to make a joke out of her. So, anyways, my husband and I took 2 weeks off work to go visit some places out of the country. Tourism, in other words. Yep, that's a vacation. Thing is, I was the one who saved up for and arranged for the trip. My husband was responsible for booking the tickets. My husband's mom wanted to come along and threw temper tantrums like a little toddler when I said no. She called, texted, sent people to talk to me into letting her come, even threatened to call the police and make some complaint up to get us to stay if she can't come. My husband said we should just take her, but I told him he was wrong to tell her about the trip in the first place. I don't know about that. Like, hey mom, I'm going on a vacation with my wife. Are you gonna be all right while we're gone? I don't know. He gave me an ultimatum that he wouldn't go if she can't come, and I told him I'd gladly call his bluff, which made him take his words back and say, fine, I will tell her to stop it because we won't take her. Things got quieter, suspiciously quieter, the day of the trip. The day of the trip came. It's capitalized your sentences, people. It's confusing. The day of the trip came and we got to the airport at 2 p.m. You don't have to add that detail. That's fine. My husband was walking ahead of me and was looking left and right like he was looking for someone. I asked him, but he didn't respond. He led me to the waiting area, and first thing I saw was his mom standing there with her luggage. I froze in my spot. I felt a cold wave washing over me, and I was fuming inside. She and my husband were hugging. That's when I quietly turned around and started walking towards the exit. My husband followed me while shouting at me to stop. Stop. He tried to stop me, but I told him off the harshest way possible. He tried to say I was overreacting and that his mom was there anyway, and I should let it go and not mess the trip up for us. I told him he and his mom could still go and that I was going home. I went home and sobbed into my dog's fur for who was watching your dog? Turned out he booked her a ticket without me knowing. An hour later, he came home yelling and raging about how pathetic and spiteful I was to walk out and go home and ruin the trip last minute. I told him he caused this to happen. He said that I was being so hard on his mom. It's ridiculous. I refused to fight anymore, but he kept on berating me and then called my family to tell them that the trip was canceled and that it was because of me. My family said that I shouldn't have ruined it for myself. What the holy shit. And should have sucked it up and done my best to enjoy. Where is this? What country is this? Is in America, right? I mean, English doesn't appear to be this person's first language. All right, let's go back. Okay. Regarding what happened with the trip, he tried to have a talk with me, and most of what he said came from a place of blame towards me. I just couldn't continue with this argument. I told him I needed space, and that's such a stupid, I hate that. I told him I needed space and that I would be going to stay with my sister for a while. He didn't take it well. He literally got up from the couch and opened the door, telling me to go right then. In that moment, and seeing how he was still not even anywhere near understanding what he has done, just made things perfectly clear to me. I just had pictured years and years of my life being lived like that, and I was like, no, I can't do it. Can't take any more of it, especially when he keeps focusing on being right every time. His mom can do no wrong. I'm always the aggressive, crazy, jealous, pathetic overreactor. Okay, so she's staying with her sister, blah, blah, blah. He's still blaming her. Okay, so this is kind of like above the Reddit pay grade here. Like, I'm looking for stuff that's more like, am I the asshole for purposely misspelling a customer's name wrong on a cup when they were slightly rude to me? You know. Okay, so yeah, these two go together. Am I the asshole for canceling Mother's Day celebration that I arranged for my wife after hearing what she told my son? What did she tell your son? I don't gotta know. I am 37, have a 13-year-old son. I was a widower when I met my now wife. She has a 16-year-old daughter from another relationship, so we got a Brady Bunch type situation going on here. The family is often on pretty good terms. My son is the quiet one in the house. He keeps to himself a lot, but not to the point of being concerning. Okay. My wife and stepdaughter are the complete opposite. They both encourage him to be outgoing and share activities and join gatherings with extended family. My son complained about having to be forced out of his comfort zone and having his need for space invalidated. Okay. So there's a difference between I'm 13-year-olds, I'm sulking in the basement, and like, hey, because I was this kid, right? I would have never said something like, I need my need for space is being invalidated. I would be like, I really don't want to go anywhere. I just want to kind of hang out at home and play video games. I spoke to both my wife and stepdaughter and asked them to give him space and freedom to spend his time however he wanted. They apologized and promised to let him be. Okay, so as Mother's Day was approaching, I wanted to throw my wife a surprise Mother's Day celebration. It was no longer a surprise because my stepdaughter gave her the heads up, I assume, so she could prepare. Yesterday, I got off work earlier than usual to get the final arrangements done. We planned to celebrate at the restaurant and invited her family there. I had the key, and while I was entering the house through the front door, I overheard my wife and stepdaughter talking to my son. My wife was asking my son if he could convince me to let him stay home. My wife was asking my son if he could convince me to let him stay home and not go with them to the restaurant to celebrate. I paused and decided to keep listening. My son said why, and she told him that his introverted and socially inept attitude will make her family uncomfortable and will ruin the mood. Okay, so he's come in the door, he's opened the door, and in like a comical sitcom style turn of events, he overhears this loud conversation, which apparently they have not heard him enter. And she's just like, well, I would prefer if you didn't come because, you know, you're introverted, blah, blah, blah. This ticks all the Reddit boxes. Introverts, wife bad, women be crazy. So this is definitely, yeah, this is why this got upvoted. He promised he'd be well behaved and would try to interact. She said she wasn't buying it. He kept reassuring her, but she snapped and told him that technically she's not his mom, so she didn't get why he wanted to celebrate Mother's Day with her so badly. Holy moly. My stepdaughter threw some backhanded comment, and then both of them were shocked to see the camera pans up and he's standing behind them. Both were staring without saying anything. I told my son and his stepsister to go to their rooms, then told my wife the celebration was off, canceled. She tried to argue, asking why repeatedly. I told her why. She tried to explain that she didn't mean it like that and that I only heard part of the conversation, but not all of it. It sounds like he heard the whole thing because the way he wrote it, like it was a script, was it's like, you know, you turn on the radio in a movie and it goes right to the part you want to be in. It doesn't start in the middle of a song or a commercial. I told her I was done arguing and the decision was already made. She yelled, asking what she was going to tell her family, and said that I was making tremendous mistake towards her. All right, divorce, divorce, not the asshole, divorce, not the asshole. Oh my God. Divorce, divorce, yeah, oh my. Please hire a really good shark of a divorce lawyer and divorce this woman ASAP. Wow. Certified Reddit moment. Divorce, divorce, yep, divorce, not the asshole, get divorced. Jeez. People on Reddit are just rabid. Oh, I guess I should give my verdict on this. Is kind of supposed to be my thing. I don't believe this happened, at least not in the way that it was described. It sounds, it's like perfect am I the asshole bait. But if it did happen exactly this way, I think he's the asshole, like a little bit. He should have been like, hey, what's going on here? Like, you know, why are you telling my son that he's too introverted and he should not want to go to this? Like, you don't send, like, have the kids involved in this. Like, what was she telling you? Like, talk to the daughter and be like, hey, what's going on? Like, why are you guys, you know, talking about it like this? Don't turn this in. It's like a movie thing, right? You walk in, you're like, I can explain. You don't let him explain. You walk out, you get divorced. So I'm gonna go with he's the asshole for not clarifying more, or maybe more info needed. Am I the asshole for not giving up my second free seat next to me in the plane? I am obese. Like, I am comfortable having 2 seats. Yeah, mood, buddy. I'm comfortable having 2 seats in the plane type of obese. I am well aware of that, and I really don't like to bother people with my weight. Thanks. A week ago, I was going to a conference by plane, and because I was going alone, usually when I fly with my boyfriend. Oh, no. All right, we gotta get more information. Usually when I fly with my boyfriend, I don't buy 2 seats since he sits next to me and he's basically a beanpole. So he hardly takes up any space. It's like incredible. I bought 2 seats. I fit in one, but my side is usually touching the person next to me and I feel uncomfortable for them. It happened to me that they gave me nasty looks and I felt extremely uncomfortable the whole flight. I'm trying to imagine this and it's just kind of gross. It's like a blob, like sitting next to you on the plane and like spilling over onto your seat. So I sat down in the plane and put the armrest up so I would be really comfortable. Some couple came in, they both sat next to me because they got separate seats and they noticed the seat next to me was empty. Exactly what I was afraid of happened. My side kept touching the guy next to me and he even pushed me a bit when he moved in the seat. I was feeling extremely uncomfortable and asked him if he could go to his seat because I bought this one for my comfort. He told me no, since the seat is empty and he wants to be with his girlfriend. I told him I understand, but I feel uncomfortable. I paid for the second seat so exactly this doesn't happen. He refused again and started to chat. I called the flight attendant quietly and told her what is happening. She asked the guy to leave my second seat and he and his GF give me a nasty look. The GF mumbled something like fucking fat bitch under her breath, but nothing directly to me. This thread is now locked due to an excess of rule violations. Ooh. Yeah, not the asshole. Like, it's your seat, you paid for it. Not the asshole. Don't let him sit down. Not the asshole. It doesn't matter why you purchased that seat. You could have bought it for the spirits of your ancestors so they could guide you safely to your destination. Great. Good stuff. Not the asshole. Yeah, you bought the seat. Blah, blah, blah. Be civil. This lady calling OP a bitch doesn't mean you get to call her one or any other insult. Yeah. Also, OP didn't ask you about your opinions about their size or for diet tips. Oh, no. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, obviously not the asshole. This one's a little bit too straightforward. Am I the asshole for telling a guy what I do for work and letting him pay for my drinks during the whole evening? Oh, okay. Am I the asshole for not telling a guy what I do for work and letting him pay for my drinks during the whole evening? All right. What does she do? My friend Grace invited me to a board game bar. Ooh, that sounds fun. We went to drink in pairs. Nick started the night by telling about his recent career change. He asked me if it's true that I'm a software. Okay, so she is a software engineer. He asked me why I haven't told him. Why did I let him believe I was a cashier like Grace? Why did I let him pay for everything when I probably earned more than him? That's not really how like buying drinks for someone works. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I think we got the gist on that one. We don't have to read the whole thing. Am I the asshole for not making coffee how my fiance wants me to? It's been about a year. Okay, this is a year update. Jeez, people are really... Am I the asshole for sending my coworker into anaphylactic shock? Yes. Okay. I'm at a loss here, guys. Realistically, I know I'm in the clear. Legally, I'm in the clear, but I'm being vilified by my coworkers, and I want to show them this post on Reddit to prove that I am not the asshole. I'm generally considered quitting my job because of this mess. It was a pretty standard work day, and at night I helped my friend at her restaurant, which serves an assortment of Thai cuisine. To be honest, I'm insanely picky, but I fell in love with this peanut sauce the main chef makes, and he showed me how to make it. So about once a week, I take it on either noodles or stir fry to my day job for lunch. People know this, and a handful have tried it. It smells nutty, it tastes nutty, it's white girl pad thai, basically. Okay. Lately, my lunches have been disappearing, or I'll open my lunchbox to find half my... we got another food eating lunch stealer person. I've tried addressing it, but nothing has been changing, and I was pretty sure it was one of the new hires that was doing it, but had no proof until now. Thursday, I took my noodles. My entire Tupperware was missing, which hasn't happened before. I'm pissed, but what can I do? A coworker shared her pizza with me, and that was that until today. My boss confronted me and accused me of poisoning my noodles because his daughter, one of the new girls, borrowed my lunch and had to be hospitalized. Turns out she's severely allergic to nuts, ate some, and boom, anaphylaxis. She used an EpiPen, but had to be hospitalized, and now her dad is trying to hold me accountable for her bills and condition. But I don't see it. Why should I pay? I don't mark my food as allergen because I'm not allergic to it. She was dumb enough to steal from me and eat something she can't have. But he's being hateful, and some of my older coworkers are icing me out because I warned him I'd report any harassment to HR if he tried anything funny. Brown nosers, I guess. Oh, come on. Do you gotta be like that? My friend is aware and offered me a full-time job, but I just can't help. But it's being unfair. At the same time, I could have killed his daughter, though, so am I the asshole? There's a lot of updates here. Okay, let's see what the original is here. Not the asshole. Go to HR immediately and make them aware of what's going on. Okay. Not the asshole. You didn't feed it to her. She stole it. Okay. Yep, this is not the asshole. I don't know, like, you steal someone's lunch, you kind of take your life into your own hands. I've never had anyone steal my lunch, but I work in like a pretty small office, so I don't know, I guess we don't have a lunch thief. Why is the boss's daughter not like packing her own lunch or going out or whatever? Why is she stealing people's lunches? That's so foreign to me. Am I the asshole for getting upset and telling my dad his girlfriend didn't buy me a Starbucks drink? What? Okay, all right. Okay. All right. What is the actual issue? When I got their order, I asked if I could have one of the cake pops, and GF said that it was her daughter's treat for hard work and would be wrong for me to take one since I didn't do anything that deserved being rewarded. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty upset. When we got back home, my dad saw their drinks and asked for mine. I told him I wasn't allowed to get one because I don't deserve it. His GF got upset and said I was twisting her words, and the daughter just said I was being greedy and was jealous of her. Oh, sweetie, not the asshole. And I want you to know that you absolutely were entitled to a drink and a cake pop or another treat of your choosing. So this is an evil stepmother situation. Okay, don't care. Do we have any asshole ones here? It's all not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole. I want to find like a real spicy one. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister out of our family dinner after she made a practical observation? So this is another truth serum one. Oh, stillborn baby. I'm not touching that one. Okay. Update, not the asshole. Wow, there's a lot of not. Okay, there's gotta be an asshole one. Can we? Here we go. Am I the asshole for taking away my daughter's bedroom and giving it to my son? Oh, here we go. I, male 32, have a daughter, Harper, female 14, from a previous relationship. I have full custody and her mom is not involved in her life. Okay, that's fine. Wait, hang on, hold on. Okay, he had the daughter when he was 18, if she's 14, right? That's how that works. 5 years ago, I married my wife, Nina, who's 31. We tried to have a child, but couldn't. Oh. We went to the doctor and turned out I can't have kids anymore due to a narrow urethra. We decided to use a sperm donor, and the result was a son, Mark, who was born a few months ago. The problem started when Nina got pregnant. Harper wasn't happy about it. It's just how kids are. When Mark was born, things got worse. Before this, Harper and I used to spend 2 days a week together, just the two of us, without my wife. But after Mark was born, I couldn't do that anymore. I can't just leave my wife alone for 2 days a week with a newborn, and Harper's been very angry about it. The main problem started 3 days ago. Nina and I decided to make a nursery for Mark instead of having him in our bedroom for multiple reasons. Our house has 4 bedrooms. Okay, so rich people problems. One of the master bedrooms is ours. The other's Harper's. It was very hard for Nina and I to go to the other side of the home multiple times a night. I asked Harper to pack her stuff and go to one of the other bedrooms so we could give her room to Mark. At first she said okay and went to her room and started packing, but less than an hour later my brother showed up at our home asking for Harper. She had called him and asked him to take her. She came out of her room with her stuff, told me, "You can give it to your son now," and left with my brother. I told her she could only go for one night, but it's been 3 days and she's not back and won't even talk to me. Holy moly. I'm receiving calls from my family, all calling me and oh, asshole and other names. Okay. I don't trust their judgment. They very clearly favor Harper, this 14-year-old girl. She was the first grandchild in our family and everyone's favorite. Also, they're trying to accept Mark as my son, but I could see they haven't been able to yet. Am I the asshole? What country do you live in where you can just like take your niece away from her parents and then the police like aren't interested? Oh, okay. He said he would only let her go back if Harper wanted to go. We moved to another home closer to their home because they wanted to have Harper close. Oh yeah, just pack up and move, bro. Like no big deal. Harper will get to choose which bedroom she wants in our new home. I could spend one-on-one time with Harper at least 1 day a week, which I accepted. What the hell? This caused a lot of problems since my wife doesn't like some of those conditions. She thinks they're not reasonable. She got angry, took Mark, and went to her parents' home and is staying there now. So now I'm also receiving texts from my in-laws. Wow. You're the asshole for this and for implying that your family is taking your daughter's side because your son was born from a donor. You've given them more than enough reason to think you're the asshole without some nefarious opinion on Mark. Just, you're the asshole. I hope you actually take all these "you're the asshole" comments to heart because every single one I've read so far is absolutely 100% correct. I feel bad for your daughter. Put your baby in a room across the hall if you really need him out of your bedroom and apologize like crazy to Harper. And don't expect her to forgive you. Jeez. You're the asshole. Congrats on giving your kid daddy issues. You're the asshole. You're the major asshole. What? The new baby isn't even Harper's biological sibling, not your sperm, not her mom's egg. It's her stepmom's egg and some rando sperm. That's all right. That's a fucked up thing to say. I'm gonna say it. Like, just because it's not a biological connection doesn't mean it's not her brother. Like, oof. I wasn't adopted. None of my I don't have any step brothers. I guess technically I might now, because my dad remarried. But my parents got divorced after I turned 18, so I'm hands off. But if one of my parents was like a single parent and then got married and then they had a kid, regardless of where the DNA came from, if they adopted a kid, that's still your brother. Like that's just a fucked up thing to say. I'm not gonna downvote because I'm not logged in and this is like a month old, but geez, that's ugh. All right, am I the asshole for leaving my boyfriend in Arizona after he pretended to push me over the edge of the Grand Canyon? Oh, I just went with to the Grand Canyon with my BF. I'm 150% afraid of heights. Don't go near windows, railing type of scared. Phobia in the full sense of the word. Wow. Not the asshole. I mean, yeah. Am I the asshole for labeling my drawers to end Mill's confusion? Am I the asshole for moving out because my mom sold concert tickets to help my sibling? Were they your concert? Wait, hang on, wait a minute. This says My Chemical Romance. We gotta read it. I'm 17F. My name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way. I have listened to My Chemical Romance almost religiously, easily since I was like 7. They're playing in my country in a week's time, and I had bought 2 tickets. I had 2 tickets bought. One for me and one for my boyfriend. His name is Vampire. No, his name is Draco. This concert was really important to me, partially because it's been rescheduled twice, and partially because alternative band members don't live so long. One may be dead before the next opportunity rolls around. What? Partially because alternative band members don't live so long? It's just My Chemical Romance, man. My youngest brother, Jack, 8, has cerebral palsy and has to wear AFO splints. They're bulky, so he can only wear certain types of shoes with them. And the only type he likes are quite expensive. My mom has tickets for Ed Sheeran, and she's just back from a holiday, so she's a bit broke. I assumed she'd sell her own tickets when she was talking about selling tickets. I was very wrong. She sold mine for like double the price I paid as well. They're sold out for the date we were going, and I really don't know when or if I'll ever get this opportunity. Again, I'm so livid. I'm livid. I packed my shit last night and went to my boyfriend's, whose parents are more than okay with it. My mom thinks I'm being beyond unreasonable for leaving, that I'm overreacting and I'm making her look like a bad mother, etc., etc. She even got my older sister to ring me and berate me down the phone. Where are these people from where they write like this? I'm starting to feel like the asshole, even though I thought I was right in the beginning. I bought the tickets with my own money. Yeah, you're not the asshole. Have you asked your mom why she didn't sell her tickets? I demand the money back. She never gets a break, yada yada. Okay. All right. That's just fucked up. Not the asshole for sure. Am I the asshole for telling my mom's husband that this isn't his house and I'll show him the same respect he shows me? I, 13M, get off Reddit. This is not for children. Am I the asshole for wearing a first-gen sash to my graduation against my dad's wife's wishes? What is a first-gen sash? Like Pokemon? Am I the asshole for calling out my stepbrother on his Instagram post? All right, let's find an asshole one. The not the asshole ones are so boring. Ah, here we go. Am I the asshole for showing the kid what their dad did? Oh, this is an everyone sucks. Okay, my husband was staying at the hospital for some health issues. After he got out, he started wetting the bed every few nights. Oh no. We talked to the doctor and they gave us meds, but they take time, so they suggested my husband use adult diapers temporarily. He said no. And since he's too sick to do anything, then I'm the one having to clean up every time. All right, this is just sad. I grew tired of it. He just kept wetting the bed and not even considering diapers at this point. Put down a towel or something. What are you doing? I saw he'd wet the bed again and just kind of went off. I kept talking, but it's like he wasn't hearing me because he just kept staring at the wall. The kids heard the fuss and came in asking what was going on. I showed them the state the bed and the sheets were in and said, your dad keeps wetting the bed and throws a tantrum when asked to wear a diaper. Oh no. Wow. How old are these people? They should have put that. They never put the ages when you need the ages. I'd love to see everyone who's judged you as an asshole clean the bed of someone who refuses to wear diapers repeatedly. Oh boy. They have a wonderful invention called a condom catheter. It slips over the penis like a condom and you can attach it to a Foley bag. This may be an alternative solution instead of a diaper. Oh, that's interesting. It's better than sticking the catheter up your pee hole, I suppose. Okay. Am I the asshole for not sharing? We're looking for asshole ones. Let's keep on scrolling. I'm worried we're missing some really spicy ones. Wait, what is this? Am I the asshole for going off on my wife after she made a sex sign to keep my mom from knocking on our bedroom door? What? That's incredible. Am I the asshole for laughing at my sister when she told me to control my woman? Control my woman. Okay. Am I the asshole for keeping a secret storage unit? Why is it in scare quotes? Am I the asshole for saying my brother is married to our precious mom to his girlfriend? Am I the asshole for putting a lock on my son's door? Okay. A little bit weird. Am I the asshole for not letting my neighbors access our pool? Absolutely not. Keep them the hell out of your pool. That's just asking for trouble. Wow, so many not the assholes updates. Am I the... Okay, here we go. Am I the asshole for not giving my son part of his trust fund early because he refuses to sign a prenup with his fiance? All right, some background. I have 4 kids. My eldest, Elton John, 27, was with my first wife who died when he was 5. Okay, that's kind of sad. He eventually remarried and got 2 stepdaughters, Lisa and Anne. Then my second wife and I had Mike. He is now 13. Okay, my wife and I made sure to give them comfortable lives. When John and Lisa graduated from university, we gifted them condo units. Okay, so it's another rich people problem. We will do the same when Anne and Mike graduate. Also, all of them have trust funds. God, this is just pissing me off. I'm quite proud of my kids. John and Lisa graduated from top universities. Ugh. John has a high-paying job as an engineer, while Lisa pursued a master's degree in business while she worked in marketing. Eventually, she started her own marketing consulting firm while being a part owner of a spa. Asshole. I'm not even going to read the rest. Rich asshole. Can't believe my son would not sign a prenup before getting married. That's not responsible behavior from rich folk like ourselves. Wait, what? Am I the asshole for not letting a woman leave the shop even though her baby was crying? Okay, all right. Everyone sucks. Am I the asshole for demanding my husband to pay back the money that he'd been secretly taking as rent from my disabled sister who's living with us? Ugh. Okay. That's, man, why are the asshole ones always like kind of sad? Am I the asshole for not wanting to be a dad? No. I, 29, had a child when I was 19. I wasn't ready to be a dad and I asked her to get an abortion. Sweat frog. She refused and we decided she could keep the baby and I'll pay child support, but I wouldn't be involved in her life. I didn't tell my family about it. 3 months ago when I was at work, I received a lot of angry messages from my parents asking me if I have a child. Apparently my ex told them everything because she is sick and wants someone to look after the kid since her own family refused to do this. They were mad at me, telling me it was very selfish to hide their grandchild from them. I'm an only child and she is their only grandchild. They agreed to look after her and brought her into our home. Yes, I live with my parents. Okay, so this is a poor people problem. I told them I can't stop them from doing this, but I still don't want to be her dad, and they agreed. She's been living with us for the past 3 months, but everyone forgot about our agreement. 2 days ago, my parents left her with me to go somewhere. I told them I don't want to babysit, but no one listened to me. As soon as they left, she started coming into my bedroom with different excuses. I finally got annoyed and told her to go to her room and not to come out until her grandparents came home. My parents came back and freaked out when they found out. They called me an asshole for being a horrible dad, but I never wanted to be a dad. So here's the thing. Just because you don't want to be a dad doesn't mean you are not now a dad. Like, put a condom on. By 19, typically you know how the baby is made, how baby is formed. And maybe, yeah, man, just a shitty guy. Am I the asshole for getting engaged? Hang on, what? My sister, Dot, 19, is signal and pregnant. So she's double pregnant? Around 5 months. My boyfriend and I went away on vacation and her proposed to me. He proposed to me, I assume that's what that's supposed to say. I told my mom and I posted the engagement on my social media. My sister flipped out on my Instagram post and wrote a long rant on how I could do that to her while she's pregnant. And I didn't think about her situation at all and how my engagement would make her feel. My mom told me it was insensitive because my sister is feeling unloved right now and is having a hard time with it recently because the reality of her situation has hit her. She's pregnant. I told my mom that I'm not putting my life on hold because my sister made a stupid mistake. My mom said, don't expect to run back to my family after I get divorced. I'm hurt that my mom and sister are treating me like this over my engagement. Yeah, I think the consensus is pretty right, not the asshole. Like, just because your sister was stupid doesn't mean you have to be stupid. Am I the asshole for taking multiple containers of formula out of a couple's cart due to the formula shortage? Oh, I'm not touching that one. Am I the asshole for not waking my partner up and causing him to miss a family trip? Whoa. Hang on here. Okay, I'm 26 lady, 28 guy, have 5 daughters, 7, 6, 4, 3, and holy shit. Settle down. For a long time, there's been an issue with him getting up to help with the kids of a morning. With the kids of a morning. Sure, why not? He thinks he should be able to sleep in on his days off work. I agree, but you have 5 kids. And guess what? When you have kids, you don't get to sleep in. That's just how it works. I'm sorry to tell you. You made this decision. You brought this on yourself. While I think he should get up when the kids and I do, or we should at least be alternating who lies in a bit. We've been seeing a therapist who's mentioned he should be helping here in the... Oh, hang on. Does this guy... He has a job, so he works like all week to support the 5 kids and you. Recently, we had a family trip planned to the zoo with both of our parents, our sisters, and their kids. That's a lot of kids. Previously, when we've gone out for the day, I've needed to shake my partner awake several times, and he lies in bed while I get the kids ready. He'll finally get up 5 minutes before we leave as I shout at him I'm getting in the car. I've mentioned to him that this is very frustrating as it's got a lot of work getting the kids ready to go, and it's not fair to leave it up to me while he lies in bed. He'd apologize and promise the next time he'd get up and help. The night before the trip, I told him I'd need him to be awake at 6:30 so we could get everyone ready to leave by 8. He said he'd set an alarm and he went to bed. My alarm went off at 6:30 and I got up while my partner kept sleeping. I decided I wasn't going to wake him this time and continued getting the kids ready. At 8 a.m. he was still sleeping, so I loaded the kids in the car and we set off. We arrived at the zoo at 9:30 and his family asked where he was. I mentioned he was still in bed and chose not to come. At 10:15, I got a phone call from him asking where everyone was. I said we went to the zoo as planned and I waited for him to get up, but he never did. He got really mad and told me that I should have woken him up like I always do, and I caused him to miss the trip. He then called his mom and complained to her, who yelled at me in the middle of the zoo that I was being unfair and I should have given him a shake to let him know he needed to get up and that I was about to leave. My mother jumped in and said it wasn't my responsibility to get him out of bed and he needed to take responsibility for himself. Oh boy. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right. Not the asshole. I taught my daughter that she was responsible for getting herself up for high school, and if she missed the bus, I wasn't going to drive her. She never missed the bus. I feel bad for this guy, honestly. He's got 5 kids, and that just sounds miserable. And I would probably just... But honestly, if the whole family went to the zoo and let me sleep in till like 10 o'clock, I would not complain. I'd just be like, hey, you guys at the zoo, you having a good time? All right, I'm going to go. You guys have fun. I'm going to go do something... Gonna play some video games while you guys are out. This is great. All right, come on. Not enough info. Am I the asshole for suggesting my friend's fiance not come on vacation after she said I made her uncomfortable? I used to date my friend before he met his fiance. Okay. I assumed he would have told his fiance at some point, but he didn't. She found out from his family during a dinner I went to too. Now she's telling everyone I make her uncomfortable. She wants me to stay away from her and her fiance. Okay, all right. Am I the asshole for embarrassing my sister in front of her friends? All right, I want to hear about the embarrassing story. I moved into my dad's house a year ago because my mom has passed away due to drug use. My sister, who's only 4 months older than me, hates me because I am a fair baby. Okay, so I'm guessing they're like half sisters then, half siblings. My dad's wife only found out about me 3 years ago, which according to my sister, their marriage never been the same since her mom found out about my existence. I mean, yeah, that's pretty bad. Every day she will do things to make me feel like an alien, capitalized alien, in my own home. She ripped a photo I had of my mom and of my mom and I, and stolen a necklace my mother gave me. She also will bump into me on purpose when I'm walking around the house. My dad is packed with so much guilt that he doesn't really do anything. My sister's mom puts more effort into stopping her daughter than my dad. Puts more effort into stopping her daughter than my dad. Stopping what? My sister invited her friend group over, which consists of 4 girls, and she started making fun of my dead mom and me, saying stuff like, I wouldn't talk to her, she's only going to end up like her mom in a few years. Or, the reasons why she looks like that is because her mom used while she was pregnant. She also said druggies like her mom don't deserve a life anyway. Okay, hang on, I want to see what the thing... Everyone was laughing at me and I felt away. I can't parse this. So I told my sister about herself, saying, what kind of evil soul makes jokes about someone's dead mom? Not just anyone, but their own sister. I have not done one thing to you, but you done nothing but make my life miserable. I'm sorry your dad cheated on your mom, and I'm sorry that my existence, but I'm here now, so deal with it or at least leave me alone. This is like something, it's like a shower situation, you know? You come up like, oh man, if I had just said this, it would have been so cool. I don't believe this happened. My sister started crying and then everybody clapped, and then Albert Einstein gave me $100. She said I ruined her life and that she wished I didn't exist, and ran to her bedroom. My sister's friends didn't know that I was her sister and thought I was a foster child or something, so all of her friends are asking about a bunch of questions about me and are upset at her for lying. She refuses to show her face at school now. My dad's upset at me because he thinks I should have taken her aside instead of embarrassing and outing her in front of her friends. I didn't know she was lying to get friends. What, lying to... What? How's she getting friends from lying? But my sister's mom thinks I did nothing wrong and that it's her daughter's fault for lying and bullying me in front of her friends, and she says it's a natural consequence. Wait, the mom's on your side? That's actually pretty rad. Not the asshole, for sure. I mean, this didn't happen because the way that it's written, it's like something I would come up with in a shower argument. Am I the asshole for telling my brother he can also be dead to me? I-17F, okay, whatever, I don't care. Am I the asshole for confiscating my stepdaughter's phone after she gave my daughter's ex her new address? Am I? Okay, hang on. There's too many people. For confiscating my stepdaughter's phone after she gave my daughter's ex. Okay, so this is a guy, he has a stepdaughter, he has a daughter. His daughter has an ex, and his stepdaughter gave the daughter's ex the new address because of the unstable relationship. So I guess there was like a bad breakup. I don't care about that one. I just like the ones that are very confusing to read. Am I the asshole for calling my baby daddy's wife an idiot? My baby daddy's wife an idiot. She was the other woman. Ugh. Am I the asshole for giving my niece sleeping pills and getting her addicted? Yes? What? Vitamin C tablets and told her they were sleeping pills. Oh, we got the old, what is that? The placebo effect. I was like about to like have a brain fart. Am I the asshole for telling my friend the cashier is only nice to him because it's her job? So this is, I'm pretty sure this is an It's Always Sunny plot point. Am I the asshole for telling my son to cancel his wedding? My son is getting married and he said that I have to come alone to the wedding, not bring my husband, or I can't come at all. Okay, here's my backstory. I've 49, male, spent my 20s trying to convince myself, I guess, that I am a straight man. During that time, I got a girl, we were 24, pregnant, and we had a son together. Now he's now 25. We were never serious. I told her about my struggles with my identity already, so this is a perfect Pride Month post. Came out in May, though. We didn't get married. We did raise our son together. He spent every other week with me, and I have loved every moment of being his father. I met my now husband when I was 35. He's a great guy, and we've been married for 14 years. Wow, that's pretty good. My son considers him his stepdad. My son's mom jokes about him being her gay best friend. They really are very close, and he makes me so happy. My son is getting married to his fiance in 4 weeks. Just last week, I received the wedding invitation, but it didn't mention a +1, so I just assumed my husband would get his own. He didn't, so I called my son's mom and asked her if she got a +1 invitation, and she said yes, she is married too. My son and his fiance came over for dinner 2 days ago, and I casually asked them about it. My son got a bit embarrassed and said they aren't really inviting step-parents, just their parents. I said that's okay, but his mom told me her husband is invited. His fiance then said they would just prefer to have a non-ideological wedding. My husband looked so shocked, and I was honestly just hurt. I told her that sounds a bit homophobic, to which she replied, I'm not a homophobe. I just don't want to deal with this at my wedding. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, well, you know, it's a church wedding. I said, well, you know, we won't burst into flames in the pew. She got upset and demanded they leave and went to wait for my son in the car. My son was almost crying and he apologized to me. I told him I love him and he should really cancel or postpone this wedding because this woman is showing behavior that will only get worse. He called me an asshole for interfering in his personal life. Oof. He decided to go to his son's wedding but skipped the reception. I told him how I feel about this and that I raised him better. Apparently not. Man, that's brutal. Your future daughter-in-law is clearly the biggest asshole here. Non-ideological, like disinviting gay guys is an ideology. Give me a break. Yeah. It's like, oh, we don't want to have a political wedding, so only white men are invited. Am I the asshole for filing a noise complaint about a single mom with a newborn? Nope. I, 26F, live in an apartment. I'm a resident in a medical profession. I work 100 hours weeks plus a lot of additional hours of studying and paperwork. I hardly sleep as is. I cannot wear earplugs because I need to be able to hear my phone when on call or if I'm called about a patient under my care. This happens frequently and that sounds miserable. What the hell? Why would anyone subject themselves to that? The pay's gotta be like really good, right? This happens frequently. I never turn off my phone and only update it when I'm at work. Just for an idea about how strongly I'm attached to my phone. How did doctors exist before cell phones, chap? Is that the beeper? That's what the beeper was for? My downstairs neighbor had a baby last month. Ugh. Since she came home from the hospital, I haven't slept through the night. I'm woken up every 1 to 2 hours by the baby, and this baby screams. I know the mom's trying her best. I'm sure she doesn't want to be woken up either, but I'm loosing it. I fell asleep Thursday standing up in the middle of rounds. My attendee was not impressed and I was reprimanded. My boyfriend has been encouraging me to file a complaint because it's not fair I can't sleep. So not only is she on call, all right, so I'm not a doctor, obviously. The pay is terrible. All right, thanks, Axe, for explaining. And thanks for showing up to Reddit court or whatever I'm calling this. So she works 100-hour plus weeks. She doesn't get enough sleep. I mean, there's no way she's getting enough sleep anyway if she has to have her phone on all the time. And now it's made worse by the baby situation. There's gotta be like an alternative. Because like no one is guaranteed to have, especially if you live in like a city. You don't know what this is, but it's the most entertaining on Twitch. Wow, that's have you been on Twitch very long? I think you might be able to find somebody. But basically what I'm doing is we're reading Am I the Asshole and we're passing judgment. Yes, here, let's look at the updates. Working these hours is insane. It's not okay, but unfortunately the way this field works is you either get on with it or they fire you, and there goes the last decade of my life. Ooh, okay. I live on the top floor of my building. I've been there 5 years. There's been a few families with young kids, including babies, that have lived here over the years. Life sounds never been an issue. This baby is loud and it's constant. Man, babies suck. There's several shows about judging people. I know, right? I was wearing my wife's sweatpants as like a robe, but it was too hot and it didn't quite look right, so I took it off. You can't just move, okay. Yes, I could sleep in an on-call room and do occasionally, but as people have said, the rooms are awful and they're not really quiet. I don't wake up to vibrations. I need the sound. My landlord called me earlier today and told me he heard about her coming to scream at me. Oh, we didn't get to that part. He informed me he had no intention of evicting anyone. He spoke to her about when he could come and soundproof her apartment. He's been considering doing this for a while and has decided to bite the bullet and soundproof every apartment, starting with hers, as multiple people have mentioned this to him as well. She was never in danger of being evicted. Babies cry, but I didn't sign up for this. Oh, they sure do. Next time, that was actually, yeah, the powder wig and the gavel. I was planning on that. This kind of came up at the last minute. I didn't have time to get prepared. Okay, all right. This one's just sad. I hate babies crying. Am I the asshole for flipping out at my husband for lying to my boss and telling him that I had a miscarriage? What the hell? Okay. I, 29F, found out that I'm pregnant recently. I work a full-time job, and so I'm fairly busy. Unlike my husband, 31M, who only works part-time and has plenty of time to spare. He visits his family almost daily. He also complains about how I keep missing events that I think aren't that relevant because my in-laws literally have a party every week. He told me that his mom has picked up on my absence and said that it's affecting how she sees me and the way I prioritize work over family. I had this conversation with him and his mom 100 times, but to no avail. Okay, sounds like the setup for a rom-com. All right. Last week, he wanted me to attend his cousin's gender reveal. Oh, God. I refused because I had to work. He told me to take the day off, but that wasn't possible due to how much work I needed to get done. Check your spelling. I needed TP get down. I need TP too. He pitched a hissy fit saying I'm prioritizing work over family and got mad when I told him that a relative's gender reveal party wasn't that important to attend. A party every week sounds terrible. Exactly, especially if it's something stupid like a gender reveal party. Like, who cares? The next day, and unbeknownst to me, he sent my boss a text using my phone pretending to be me, telling him that I was at the hospital because I was having a miscarriage. I could not believe it and for a minute thought it was a joke, but seeing how my boss responded just confirmed it. My boss didn't even know I was pregnant and I didn't want to tell him or the others till later on. I was seething. I shouted for my husband to come into the room and explain what the hell was going on. He told me he did that as a desperate attempt to get me to get some time off work and actually focus on what matters. Like my cousin's gender reveal party that you have to go to. They're going to be setting off fireworks in the wildfire zone and it's going to be great. Hey, JC the King. Welcome. Good day, mate. I flipped the fuck out at him and told him that this was my livelihood he was trying to mess with, but he said I basically made him resort to this. Look what you made me do. And that he wouldn't have to lie if I actually made some time to see and interact with his family and show them back the respect they keep showing me. I yelled at him and I slapped the chicken nuggets out of his hand. I'm so angry right now. Asking how I was going to deal with this ridiculous lie that he told my boss. And he told me that it was easy. All I had to do was tell that it was just a miscarriage scare. We argued and I told him I wasn't going to his cousin's party after this. He threw another fit. What is this guy's problem? Holy crap. Oh, man. About how my job isn't actually the problem and I was constantly looking for excuses to avoid spending time with his family. He called me selfish and told me to look at the mirror and see who's the one in the wrong. This person, if real, is unreal. Hex, you're so right. So the thing about reading these is we have to assume they're true. That is the only way that we can evaluate these and we can appreciate them. But sometimes you just want to be like, there is no way. This guy is too crazy. This man will not be a good father. Correct? Not the asshole, and for the sake of yourself and your child, you need a divorce ASAP? Yeah, all right. Definitely not the asshole here. That is... Yikes. Okay. Am I the asshole for no longer speaking around my niece? Okay. Let's look for an asshole one. Here we go. Am I the asshole for asking an artist to remove their signature from the art I commissioned? Oh boy, art drama, here we go. Throwaway, as I wish to remain anonymous from the artist. They are on Reddit. I found an artist I really enjoy and commissioned them recently. I want to preface this with the fact that everything went extremely smoothly so far. I'm very happy with the outcome, and the not safe for work My Little Pony art that I ordered is exactly what I pictured. Only one issue though, they left their signature on it. How dare they? To be fair, it is small, off to the corner, not very noticeable. I just feel that it is unprofessional as I commissioned them. The artwork does not belong to them anymore, and I asked if they will remove it for me, and they seem kind of annoyed and asked me if I read their TOS. Admittedly, I skimmed where it apparently states that they will not remove their signature. Oh, well, that's pretty straightforward. I told them what I said above, which is that I own the art now. They then told me I somehow don't, and then quoted me a huge markup price for commercial rights, and they only removed their signature for that purpose. I said I don't need commercial rights and tried to compromise by offering to send them $5 to remove it, which is utter BS in the first place. This guy is an asshole. I shouldn't have to pay extra for this. They refused, and I had essentially told the artist if they don't remove it, then I will simply Photoshop it out myself. Considering that it's mine, I can do what I please with it. They then informed me I will be blacklisted from commissioning them if I do. Spoiler alert, I did it, and now I am not to mention blocked from them as well. Am I the asshole? You're the asshole. Do you want the author's name removed from a book when you buy it? Oh. Hex says, I'm guessing this person asked in the worst possible way, not politely. Yeah. And typically when you commission art, because I've commissioned art for the channel before, you get a, like, it kind of lays out what what the terms are. You don't even read the terms of the person that you don't own the art necessarily. I mean, you own that copy. I don't know. I'm not an art guy. But yeah, this guy's an asshole. Like, read the terms of the thing that you're buying. Am I the asshole for telling my friend's parents the real reason why I disowned them? That just sounds sad. Let's find another asshole one. Oh, hang on. Am I the asshole for forbidding my brother from wearing a dress? Yeah, here we go. This sounds spicy. You're 100% allowed to Photoshop a signature out for personal use. Exactly. Like, you have the picture, you can now do what you want. And then the artist can, of course, say, I'm okay, that I'm not going to do commissions for you anymore because you don't want to give me credit for my work, or you don't want my signature to be on the work. All right. So I, 32F, am getting married in early July. I have a 15-year-old brother, as well as a twin sister and older brother. Okay, that doesn't matter. My younger brother was a later in life baby and absolutely the golden child. All right, we're getting into just no mill territory. He's spoiled as hell and a bully to boot, but he cries to my parents that everyone else is the problem, and they believe him. My parents, 57 and 58, are great, but they are a bit older, very naive about many things, and think the sun shines out of my little brother's ass, which has set the stage for this. I love my brother. Apparently, it doesn't sound like you do. But our parents are allowing him to become a coddled, disrespectful shit. I found him looking at alt-right stuff online, and while I don't believe he's that far gone yet, I'm truly worried about the person he's becoming. My parents believe it's a phase because he's a sweet boy. My brother has recently decided to come out as non-binary. He's insisting on wearing a dress to the wedding, but he's not. I don't make a habit of police. This is spicy, chat. Oh boy. I don't make a habit of policing other people's identities, but it's crystal clear to me that he thinks this is a joke. Literally the only time this is ever brought up is when discussing my wedding. He busts out with how he needs to wear a dress to be his true self and then laughs every time. He can't even keep a straight face. He thinks it's the fun. Make him wear a dress. That'll be hilarious. Honestly, I'd say fuck it. Whatever, if not for one of my groomsmen, my fiance's childhood neighbor and close friend, James. He's very recently started his transition and still presents rather feminine, which is a source of stress for him. Oh boy, okay. My brother met James at my fiance's birthday barbecue, blah, blah, blah. I believe this is a way for him to harass James because he thinks it's funny. He asked why James is allowed to wear a suit and be a groomsman, while my brother's not allowed to wear a dress or be a bridesmaid since they're the same. Again, while laughing his ass off. All right, okay. I'm 100% sure my brother's being a transphobic fuckwad, and I'm dead set on preventing him from mocking James like this. My siblings and fiance see exactly what I see because it's obvious, and are also not okay with this at all. My parents, however, he just tells them they can't tell him his identity, also while laughing hysterically, and that they're being unsupportive. So blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I sent a text asking when he wants to go dress shopping and talk about his makeup for the wedding. I got a middle finger emoji back. I mean, yeah, just let him wear the dress, call this bluff. He wants to think it's a joke. Force him to make it a joke. Not the asshole, though. I think we can agree on that. All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to bake for my gluten-free coworker's birthday? Ooh. I don't want to mess with that one. Am I the asshole for telling my mom and her husband that I can't wait to turn 18 and leave the house? All right, we have another child one. Am I the asshole for refusing to my sister's wedding? Refusing what? My sister's wedding. Make sure to tell the photographer to take extra pictures of the dress. Yes. Make sure you get my little brother in as many pictures as possible. He's very photogenic. I helped him do his makeup. Yeah, that would be a good time. He obviously, he's just trying to be a little shit, so whatever. Am I the asshole for not telling my husband where his son was? Ooh, okay, here we go. I, 27F, married my husband, 37M. That's not super sketchy. It's a, hang on, what's the rules on that? Half your age plus 7? I think we're in the clear here. He has 3 children from his previous marriage, 16, 13, 16. All right, from the very beginning, I was super clear with him. Hey, how about some paragraphs? Maybe you could put some breaks in here. I'd never try to force them into anything, especially not a parental one. And for the most part, that's been going about as well as you'd expect. I'm dad's wife, nothing more. However, when the twins first started learning to drive last summer, I told them both that driving would give them new freedom, and I knew the stuff teenagers got up to. I then said that while I get that's part of growing up, their safety is the most important thing. So if they ever felt like they were in an unsafe situation and needed an out, don't hesitate to call me. I would come get them no matter what, no questions asked, and dad didn't have to know. Husband and his ex tend to be very liberal with punishments, and I don't think they mean liberal in the sense of progressive here. They brushed me off at the time. I thought very little of it. Fast forward, last Friday, one of the boys, we'll call him B, was supposed to be staying at a friend's house after prom. Ooh, prom shenanigans. At 2:30 a.m., I'm up finishing a bit of grinding in my game when I get a call from him. B explains in a shaky and slurred voice he was at senior girl's house party and the friend who drove had ditched him, and he had been drinking a lot. And please don't tell dad. I've already snuck out of the house, and I just say, don't worry, your father's asleep. I'm on my way. He texts me the address after some coaxing, and within 30 minutes, I'm discreetly shuffling a drunken, shaking boy into my passenger seat. He's crying within 5 minutes, leaving. I did my best to comfort him. This sounds like stepmom of the year material. I drove through McDonald's and got him a burger and ice cream. I get him home, sneak him back to his room, and get him safe in bed. I don't sleep from constantly checking on him to make sure he doesn't show signs of alcohol poisoning. Husband leaves for work early Saturday morning, so he doesn't notice B is home. B is nursing a bit of a hangover, but is fine. Ever since, both the twins have warmed to me exponentially. I even heard B say my dad and stepmom's house instead of my dad's house. Stepmom, wow. But yesterday, my husband put 2 plus 2 together, and he got 5. After some combination of local gossip and testimony from his daughter, what actually happened, and it came out what I did. Obviously, he was mad. I knew and didn't tell him. I told him I wouldn't apologize for showing his son to ask for help in bad situations, nor would I condone punishing him for doing exactly what he should have done to fix a mistake he clearly already learned from. Husband says I undercut him in the role of his child's father by going behind his back. The ex says I overstepped entirely, but I still think I did the right thing. Am I the asshole? That's not, like, I didn't get that from the prompt, which just says, am I the asshole for not telling my husband where his son was? It's like, am I the asshole for designated driving my stepson home from a party and then not bringing it up to my husband? No, not the asshole. I feel like this is something you should probably talk to your husband about. Like, okay, like, our kids are teenagers, they're going to be doing stuff like this. where do we stand on this? I guess if he's a big jerk about it. Oh, here we go. Oh boy. Yeah, not the asshole on that one. Here we go. Am I the asshole for not letting the kids go alone to see their dad in his home country? This has been voted as asshole, but we're going to go ahead and read it. English is not their first language, but it already looks better than the ones we read previously. I, 39F, divorced my ex-husband, 42M, 8 years ago. Okay. We have 2 kids together, 19 and 18, that I had sole custody of after their dad became sick. He's been getting treated for his medical condition in his home country, and recently I've been told his health is declining. My ex-mill called me asking if I could let the kids come visit their dad for a few days. She said she would handle tickets and expenses. Wow, super nice. Technically, if your kid is a teenager and you have to DD, you're an accomplice. I don't know about that one. I guess that's like US centric probably. I don't think other countries typically have underage drinking problems. Maybe they do. And hey, Ridlip, welcome to the court. Order in the court. Where were we? So ex-mother-in-law is handling all the expenses. That's super rad. I was a bit taken aback by her request. I said I was sorry. I wasn't feeling comfortable letting the kids travel alone. She told me she could book me a ticket too, but I said I was busy to literally travel to another country. She asked me to be more considerate and understand that her son misses her kids and wants to see them. I suggested they video call him like they always do, but she told me that her son cried about wanting them there in person so he could hug them and smell them. All right, maybe don't phrase it like that. She said his mental and emotional well-being depends on it because of concerns about his declining health. I talked to the kids and they said they wanted to go, but I didn't feel comfortable letting them travel on their own despite grandmother's assurance about taking care of the travel expenses. But the kids never been on a flight out of the country on their own, so I think it's a valid reason to be concerned, especially since they've never been to this place before. So, this is definitely asshole. Like letting your 19 and 18-year-old adult children fly out of the country on their own is not something I would consider a reasonable thing to not want to happen. The country in question is Spain. Wow. You're the asshole. They're 18, not 5. Me and my sister traveled on our own. We were like 14 and 15 at the time. And that was international. We flew from Germany to the US. So, I think this is a little overbearing, honestly. You're the asshole. All right, Emmykins is back. So you've missed some pretty spicy ones. Am I the asshole for not going to my daughter's 16th birthday? Ooh. Okay. This happened a month ago, but my daughter still isn't talking to me, so I decided to ask here. I have 2 daughters from 2 different relationships. All right, we got another player in the player story, a little baby daddy situation. E and R. He really likes ER. R lives in another city with her mom. I only have her in summer and holidays. E lives with me full time as her mom passed away a few years ago. E and R don't get along at all. When they're both with me, they try to avoid each other as much as they can, and they barely spend any time together. The girl's birthday is 2 weeks apart. The girls' birthdays are 2 weeks apart. I was talking to R about her birthday party, and she was very excited and couldn't stop talking about it. At the end of our call, she told me that she's going to have her birthday party 2 weeks after the real day, which meant it would be the same day as E's birthday. Wow. I reminded her that it was E's birthday and asked her if there's any reason why she can't have her party on her birthday or the weekend or even the next week, or I don't know, any other day other than that day. She didn't have a good reason. She only said that she wanted it to be that day. I tried to convince her to change the day, but she wouldn't change her mind. I asked E if she would change her plans and we could celebrate her birthday another day, but she refused. So I called R and told her I'm not going unless she changes the date because reasons. She started screaming at me and then she slapped the chicken nuggets out of my hands. Oh boy. Yeah, not the asshole. She's doing like a Mean Girls type thing. Like, oh, you're having your party on that day? But that's the same day as my party. All right. These been pretty good. I don't think we've had any real stinkers. Am I the asshole for laughing at what my son said and not saying something to him? Am I the asshole for not giving up my seat? Oh, 16. Nope, don't care. Am I the asshole for saying no when my husband asked me to adopt my son? Ooh, okay, I'm not touching that one. Am I the asshole? I told my best friend's boyfriend that he planned on proposing to her at my wedding. Oh, yes. Now we're talking. So, for those of you who do not know, it is considered a faux pas to propose at someone else's wedding. In case you didn't know that. My wedding is in 2 weeks, and my best friend, let's call her Rita, Margarita, is one of my bridesmaids. Rita and her boyfriend have been together for 3 years, and lately he's talking about he wants to propose. He's also asked me for advice on what kind of rings Rita would like, and generally he has involved me a lot in his proposal process. He just got the ring now, and he's very nervous, and he was telling me he's anxious because the proposal will happen soon, and he's very excited about it. I kept asking where the proposal would be, and he said it's going to be a surprise. Then he started asking me if he could also have a speech at my wedding, and I found this a very weird request because only my mother, maid of honor, my sister, my parents, and my in-laws, that's a lot of people that have speeches, and even my friends have not requested a speech, so it's weird coming from him. I declined because I felt awkward about it and not comfortable. He was very upset and would stop texting or calling me to talk about the proposal after that. A few days ago, another one of my bridesmaids, who's also friends with both Rita and I, told me that Rita's BF plans on proposing to Rita at the wedding. That's why he was insisting on having a speech so he could do it during his speech. Oh boy. I immediately confronted him and told him I'm extremely angry and disappointed how he tried to trick me into this and how he thinks this is a good idea, and he could just ask and then I could decide whether or not I'm comfortable with it. He said he knew I'd say no, and that's why he didn't tell me. This made me even more angry. I told him not to try anything or else I'll have no choice but to uninvite him. He didn't believe I'd uninvite him because he thought I'd be afraid to disappoint Rita, and he literally laughed at my face and said my hands are tied, there's nothing I can do about it, or else I'll hurt Rita's feelings and I'll have to offer her an explanation. I then uninvited him, and I told Rita he's not welcome anywhere anymore, and she was mad and kept asking me why, so I told her what he was planning to do, and just like that I ruined the surprise that her BF wanted to propose. Rita's mad at both me and her BF and said that I could just make up a lie on why I uninvited him and tell her the truth after he would have proposed to her, and now I ruined one of the best surprises she'd have in her life. Oh, these people are just the worst. I feel so bad right now. Don't feel bad. And I don't know if I did the right thing, but at the same time, I believe I was in a lose-lose situation and I'd still get blamed even if I made up a lie and reveal the truth later. Am I the asshole? No. But you know who is an asshole? Your friend and her boyfriend. So congratulations. If you didn't tell her, it could have ruined your relationship with her, so you were right to do so. He's the asshole for treating you like shit and not respecting the fact that it's your wedding. Why? People know this, right? Like, this isn't secret knowledge that you don't propose at someone else's wedding. You don't propose at someone else's wedding. You don't announce you're pregnant at someone else's wedding. You do not do anything at someone else's wedding to draw attention away from the people whose wedding it is. That's, even I know that, and I hate going to weddings or anything like that. I guess some people just know and they don't care. Am I the asshole for using my boyfriend's PlayStation savings to buy a new camera? Wait a minute. Okay. All right. So this is pretty cut and dry. Her boyfriend borrowed her camera. It broke. So she used his PlayStation savings to buy the new camera after the old one broke. That's shitty. You should probably like not be his girlfriend at that point, but sounds like open and shut. Yeah, exactly. Whoa. Am I the asshole for purposely booking the same wedding venue as my sister, but earlier so I could get married there first? Wow. Another wedding one? Okay, let's take a look. I can admit that my viewpoint is pretty one-sided, but my actions have divided my family, so I figured I could get some outside advice. My sister and I don't get along. No, really? I can be honest and admit that she's much prettier than me, and that's something she's never let me forget. Both of my parents are pretty shallow, and they've always given her the best and put her first. This has left me pretty bitter and distant from my family. My boyfriend of 5 years recently proposed, and I was super over the moon. And straight out of a bad rom-com script, my sister got engaged right afterwards. It didn't really faze me other than serve as a slight nuisance, since my parents were more happy and involved with their engagement. Don't feel bad for me though, because my Mill is a godsend and super sweet / generally treats me with so much love. Okay. So this one, I'm getting like, it's petty, but let's reserve judgment until we have all the information. Anyway, what really pushed me over the edge was when my sister told me that she booked her wedding at my dream venue. I know it sounds so annoying and cheesy, but I really cared about this location. It was sentimental to me. My grandparents got married there, and I've talked about wanting to get married there as far back as high school when I was just daydreaming. She has like a little journal that she doodles in, and she writes like Mrs. whatever. I STG my sister. I don't know what that means. That's a new acronym. I STG my sister doesn't give a F about my grandparents, but when I brought it up, my parents told me to stop being so petty. In a fit of actual pettiness, I ended up booking the same venue a month before my sister's wedding. I checked with the venue, and there was no way my sister can move the wedding up. They're booked up. And if she changes venue, she'll lose her deposit. Oh, swear to God. Thank you, Rillip. I'm glad that you're a connoisseur of such quality content that you know these acronyms. My mother recently reached out to me and implored me to talk to my sister. I blocked her after the first call where she tried to ream me out. Okay, hot. Apparently my sister's really distraught, and my mom said the least I could do was try to work something out with my sister, especially over such a huge event. I said no, but my mom said I was an asshole for not even trying to hear her out and for being so stubborn and petty. I know my mom is biased, but it got me thinking because I've been pretty staunch about ignoring her calls, and some of my cousins have told me that she seems genuinely upset. I'm not sure whether or not I was right, or if I'm being a giant asshole for being so stubborn. And then there's a bunch of edits. Blah blah blah. I don't know that's not the asshole. Like, who cares if your sister gets married at the same venue as you? Maybe it's a really nice venue and lots of people get married there. The fact that her sister is taking it so hard, I think, says more about her sister than it does about her. So I'm going to say not the asshole. Yes, you're the asshole, but that other person is also the asshole, and your parents are assholes. Everyone's an asshole is an option. Or everyone sucks here, I think. It's ESH. Maybe I'm missing the so-called bride gene, but what's the actual problem? Why is it an issue for either OP or her sister to get married at the same place? Why can only one of them have it there? It's not like weddings are on the same date or to the same fiance, or they bought the same dress. Now those would be a problem. Oh boy. So that's just a weird one. I never had a big wedding. I don't care about wedding. Am I the asshole for using a high, effeminate voice to compliment a girl when her mom was stressing her out? No, I don't know. That sounds weird. Am I the asshole for no longer covering part of my nibblings camp school? Nibblings? What is nibblings? Siblings. Oh, okay. Nibblings. Does that mean something different? Nephew. Oh, that's... Okay, that's nieces and nephews. Gotcha. Rilip got married into jail? Wait, nibbling is non-binary sibling? How do you know all this? What the heck? How much time do you spend here? Okay, well, am I the asshole for kicking my cousin out of my baby's funeral? Oh boy. This sounds on the Scoville chart. How spicy are we getting here? Often refers to nieces, nephews who are MB as well. Okay. I, 26F, and my cousin, let's call her Emily. You don't have to call her Emily. It's fine if it's your cousin. Have always been very close. During our childhood, we were inseparable, but then she got married, and we stopped being so close. I was not invited to the wedding, the bachelor party, or any other birthday. Yeah, women don't typically go to the bachelor party. Me and my husband have also been struggling with being able to conceive. Oh, well, tell us more about that. When we finally got pregnant, I was over the moon. Me and my cousin reconnected in this period, but didn't see each other much. I'll try not to get into too much detail, but the baby died. Okay, baby died. Got it. My husband stood by my side the whole time. He would make me soup, bring me magazines I really like, and would clean and cook around the house. What a great guy. However, I got no comforting message from Emily or her family. I was a bit hurt, but brushed it off because I wasn't most worried about her not reaching out to tell me she was sorry my baby passed away. We had a funeral a couple weeks later. When my cousin showed up to the funeral, she told me she was sorry for my loss and she gave me a hug. I noticed she was holding her hand under her stomach, and her stomach had gotten a little bigger since I last saw her. She saw me looking at her stomach, so she said, "Surprise, I'm pregnant." I'm pregnant? I'm pregnant? I'm pregat? I didn't know what to think about this, so I just stared blankly at her for a second before walking ahead. The whole funeral, all I was doing was crying. Man. It hurt to look anywhere beside my lap because when I did, the only pictures I had taken of my poor baby were shoved in my face. When I finally calmed down, Emily came over to me. I thought she was going to say something comforting or tell me it was going to be all right like everyone else. But instead, she put her hand on her stomach and popped it out a little. She said something along the lines of, "It breaks my heart to think the same thing could happen to my little angel." Oh boy. This is where you just start like wailing on her with your fists. I started off by telling her my baby didn't die because it was unhealthy. It died from a sickness we couldn't control. In seconds, she could get the fuck out. It took me a few minutes, but she left in the end. I'm getting both angry and supportive messages from the family. My husband, Phil, Mill, Dad, and friends are on my side. My mother and aunt's whole family told me I overreacted and I was wrong to kick her out of my baby's funeral. My baby's name was not Stella. My cousin's name is not Emily. I used fake names and got them mixed up. Oh, okay. I missed that part. She sounds more stupid or oblivious than asshole. Well, I mean, we're judging OP. OP is clearly not the asshole. And I think OP would have been justified in like starting an all-out brawl with her pregnant cousin. Maybe that might be going a little bit far. Her cousin sounds like a real piece of work though. She was thoughtless and unkind. Unless she has some kind of mental illness or developmental issues, what she said and did was unforgivable. Yeah, people and babies, man, they get crazy. Yeah, how's this woman isn't in jail? She's a saint. Rilip, you're not wrong. Like, when do you start strangling your cousin? All right. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that my sister was the most amazing woman I ever knew? Oh, man. I feel like when it comes to your girlfriend, right? You kind of have to go into the thing like, yeah, you're the greatest, you're the hottest woman, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever met. You can't just turn around and be like, oh yeah, my sister was like she was super cool. If she wasn't my sister, I would have definitely dated her. I don't want to read the whole thing because it sounds really sad. So we're not going to read that one. Am I the asshole for drinking a half gallon of milk at my sister's wedding? Wait a minute. What is this? Okay, I know this sounds pretty fucking absurd, but this is generally something my family is fighting about. I quit drinking 4 months ago, and my oldest sister's Emmy's wedding was last weekend. Emmy kids, you got married? My youngest sister, Sarah, has been really supportive of me getting sober, and she actually packed me a little cooler bag of non-alcoholic drinks for the wedding when she knew there would be an open bar and she wanted me to have other options. She's 15 and doesn't have a car or anything, so she just picked this bag with drinks from around the house, but it was still sweet. Anyway, at the wedding, I look in the bag and there's a few iced coffees, a few juices, and a half gallon of milk. Now, she knows me a little too well. I drink milk with pretty much every meal, and I know it's a little weird for an adult, but what can I say? I like it. So I poured myself some when everyone else was drinking alcohol, and I guess I was feeling nervous and a little tense being in a group where most people were drinking heavily for the first time since I've gotten sober. So I kept fidgeting and nervously drinking from my cup. Honestly, a lot like how I'd compulsively drink alcohol in the past. Before I knew it, my uncle was like, damn, you just drank all that milk. And he was pointing out the empty bottle. I was like, damn, guess I did. And my uncle started calling everyone's attention to that, which was kind of embarrassing, but I'd just been doing it to avoid liquor. I don't know. I guess it became a running joke among everyone there. Like, people just started talking about it. I don't know why. It honestly doesn't seem that interesting to me. So anyway, the day after the wedding, Emmy confronted me saying she didn't appreciate the stunt I pulled. I was confused, and she said she'd heard that I drank a gallon of milk and didn't puke. It's doing the gallon of milk challenge, chat. I said it was a half gallon. She didn't find that funny and was convinced I was doing it as a joke. What? Oh, that's amazing. So he unintentionally became the highlight of the wedding, I guess. That's so ridiculous. Not the asshole, but maybe drink water next time. Like, I don't know. I guess some people really like milk. That's just weird. Not the asshole. Nobody sucks. Like, it's just a weird situation. Like, it was not a prank. It wasn't a joke. I feel like you just need to sit down and explain it. Am I the asshole for selling my wedding dress so my sister can't have it? Maybe not the asshole, but kind of petty. Oh, here we go. This one has an asshole verdict, chat. I gotta see this. Am I the asshole for telling my husband it's time to hash things out with my mom? I know this is gonna sound weird, but I'm literally shaking right now. So my husband and my mom don't get on like at all. They fight constantly. Admittedly, mom is the one who usually starts, but my husband also escalates and refuses to let it go every time. It's exhausting for the entire family, and they don't even fight over something worthy. They just nitpick each other's words. My husband told me many times that the solution would be that he stops going with me over to my mom's house. That's valid. Yeah. I refused this solution because it's not practical, nor is it fit for long term, because I don't feel comfortable attending family functions by myself like I'm single. That's on you. My suggestion is for him to try to ignore her at least, and he said he would try. Yeah, Rilla has it right. You don't need to talk to your parents forever. I don't talk to my parents very much. My wife talks to her parents a lot. We have different approaches, so you know, it works out. I don't deal with them, they don't deal with me. Everybody's happy. On Mother's Day dinner, mom noticeably started commenting on my husband's mother, implying that she hated her children and isn't proud to be a mom just because she refused to celebrate with them. Oh boy, okay. My husband wanted to respond, but I whispered to him to let it go and stay calm, and he did. He still looked visibly upset, but didn't say a word, which made me think that my solution worked, but I was wrong. Once we got home, he followed me to the bedroom and said, listen, I am never, ever going back to that house ever again after all the shit your mom has done. I sighed and didn't say anything till he started throwing a fit about me watching my mom insult his and not wanting him to react. I snapped and told him he was acting childishly. He asked how, and I told him by giving out threats and saying he won't go with me to my mom's house again. He tried to make excuses, saying my mom created the situation and tried to put all the blame on her. I told him he's no saint either. He has his moments and has a habit of letting things get this far. He said that I was the one who let things get this far by not setting my mom straight. I told him his problem is with her and that it's time that hash things out once and for all, just him and her. In the ring this Sunday. It's gonna be a cage match. Let's see. He sort of looked like I offended him and told me I was wrong because this is my mom and it's my job to put a stop to her shenanigans and get her to understand he was sick and tired of her bullshit. I told him he's an adult. He's an adult. Why should I defend him while he hides behind me? He was like, okay. Don't get involved in the problem, but don't tell me how to deal with it. Yeah, really? Like, okay, you're an adult. Deal with my mom. What? Then walked out and stopped talking to me. Okay, well, that's a little silly. He even took the couch, which made me think he was punishing me for something I didn't do. Am I the asshole? Admittedly, mom is the one who usually starts, so your mother starts shit. My husband wanted to respond, but but you whispered and said, don't freak out. Who is supposed to be putting a stop to your mother's shit? The answer appears to be no one. He should just shut up and take it forever. And at that point, yes, you're the asshole. Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Certified Proctologist. I told him he's an adult. Why should I defend him while he hides behind me? because he's there for you. You make him go to these things. This is a good one, chat. This is 100% asshole. You make your husband go. You demand he stay silent while your mom insults his. And then you yell at him when he's upset when you get home at the end of the night. Like, come on. Oh my gosh, possibly an alien just rated with a party of 5. Welcome to Reddit Court, where we're going to learn who's the asshole and who's not. And yes, check out Possibly an Alien for all your Dragon Age / art needs. Am I the asshole for buying an extra seat in the movie theater? Hang on. Wait a minute. What is this? We went to the movies last night. There were still multiple empty seats throughout the theater and a few clusters of empty ones. And where we sat, just right of center, seemed okay. My wife is 7.5 months pregnant and was hesitant to go to the theater for such a popular movie during COVID, but she really loves Morbius, so I tried to make it comfortable for her. They're morbing out, chat? We purposefully went on a weeknight to avoid crowding. When I booked the tickets, I saw that someone had already skipped a seat to one side of us, so I purchased a third seat on the other side to give her a bit of breathing room. The theater lets you pick your seat when you buy the ticket. About halfway through the previews, the next group over from us arrived, and one of the guys just sat down directly next to her instead. I figured he probably didn't pay attention to his ticket, so I politely told him we purchased that seat and asked him to move to his assigned one seat over. He seemed really confused and asked if the person was running late, and said he'd move when they got there. I explained my wife is very pregnant and didn't want someone to be unmasked and sitting directly on top of her, so we bought the extra seat for some personal space. He got really annoyed and told me it was an asshole move to buy a seat you don't plan to use because we were forcing him to sit in his own seat a few feet to the right, which was not as good a view. Wow, come on, man. The screen's 80 feet. You can see it from the whole theater. Yeah. All right, what does Alien have to say? She says this will be... Oh, it's been good. We got some spicy ones tonight. What movie theater doesn't have general admission? The one I go to, you have to pick your seat when you buy your ticket. So if it's like the kind I go to. Okay. His friend joined in mumbling about what assholes we were, but eventually slid down one. I did switch with my wife and she sat on the other side, but at this point I was just upset that I had pre-planned something to try to make her comfortable, spent money on it, then this random person felt entitled to stop all over that. Not the asshole. You booked the tickets fair and square. The dude bought his own tickets and decided to sit beside your wife for some reason. He's definitely the asshole. I hate that some of our cinemas don't have the COVID rule anymore and they leave one seat. Okay, well, whatever. We're not going to read all the comments. Rainbow Yeti's here. Is there a most popular? Oh, we're in the top right now. We're in top of the last month. Am I the asshole for cutting my son's college fund because he refuses to visit me? Ew. Okay, this is asshole. It's been judged as asshole. Let's find out. I, 38M, have 3 kids, 18, 16, 13. But one of them isn't biologically mine. I found out about this 3 years ago. Uh-oh. It was a messy situation, so I ended up divorcing my wife and leaving. I moved to another city because I needed time to heal. Damn, that's brutal. I wasn't physically involved in my kids' life for 2 years, but I called them every day and talked to them. I also paid child support for the 3 of them. Here's where I know I did a terrible thing, and maybe that's why Alexander is mad at me. Okay, I guess that's the 16-year-old. When I called my kids, I only called Sophia and Raphael, 13 and 18, because I felt uncomfortable talking to Alexander. One day he was angry and grabbed the phone and said, "Don't you love me, Dad? Why are they more important to you?" I politely replied and said, "Honey, look, I love you, but I need some time to heal. I'm still your father and I'll be back soon." He knows I'm not his biological father. That is a dick move. Holy cow. I talked to him through messages because I don't feel completely comfortable doing a FaceTime. I moved back to my city last year with my new partner to settle down. My kids, 13 and 18. You have 3 kids, dude. Came to visit me immediately, but Alexander didn't come, so I went to his mom to see what was going on, and I talked to him and also apologized for treating him that way, but refused to come to my house and said he only wanted to hang out with me, and we did that. When he found out my wife, he refused to come to my wedding, was pregnant, he told me not to visit him again. When I found out his mom was seeing Alexander's biological father, so I thought that my son wanted a relationship with his bio dad instead. So even if it hurts, I respected his wishes until I found out that he rejects this guy. Raphael says, one day this guy was trying to spend time with him, but Alexander said, "Look, dude, no hard feelings, but don't try to force a fatherly role on me because you're not my dad. I already have one." Nice. All right. So I decided to invite him again to live with me because my other 2 kids live with me 80% of the time and he's the only one who refuses. My daughter was born 6 days ago and he hasn't come to see his half-sister, so I called him and said that if he doesn't come to see me, I'll be cutting his college fund. He told me to fuck off, then hung up. My mom says I'm being an asshole for threatening him that way. Am I the asshole? Seriously, I don't see the point of paying a college fund for a child that doesn't even want to see me. Oh, man. This guy's reaching new levels of assholedom. Yeah, we're digging deep. We've gone beyond the crack. We've entered the hole. You abandon your son, who no doubt took this news as hard or harder than you did. You turned your back on him. Now you want him to dance like a trained monkey, playing to your whim so he can have a future. You're the asshole, a very selfish asshole. Your poor, poor son. OP is a raging asshole who abandoned all his kids for 2 years. Who doesn't see their kid for 2 years? Yeah, that's... oof, boy. Again, I do not have kids. It's like, okay, your wife cheated on you. You've been raising a kid that's not biologically yours, but you've been raising him for 16 years. And it's not like you're just paying child support. Like, you've been living as a family, presumably. You're the asshole. You're the only one who gets time to heal. You think that was hard on you? This kid found out his life was a lie, and then the only father he ever knew skipped town and couldn't even look at him for a crime he did not commit. Threatening him because he had a hard time adjusting to all these changes makes you an awful father. Treating your son like that and prioritizing your comfort over his makes you a bad father. Do better. This kid obviously still wants you around. Man. You're kidding, right? Of course you're the asshole. You very specifically rejected him for 2 years, and now you're all healed and better and starting a new family. You think you should suck it up and get over it. He's a child. He did nothing wrong. Yeah. Wow. I agree. Asshole. 100%. Rilliff says my dad had the same situation, only he wasn't an asshole about it. Yeah, see? Everyone sucks. Yeah. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my brother-in-law in, even though he flew all the way here to speak to my husband about an emergency? Okay. Whenever my husband and I go on vacation, it's always ruined because of his work. It got to the point where I told him it was pointless of us to go anywhere because he would either be on the phone solving some crisis the entire time, or we would have to leave early. He promised it wouldn't happen this time, and he even took steps to make sure nobody could contact him while we were away. The vacation was going really well until his brother showed up claiming he needed to speak to my husband about an emergency that was work-related. While he did look stressed out, I told him he couldn't come inside even though we were staying at their family vacation home. We had an argument because he told me it was important, but I told him to wait 4 more days. He ended up coming back a few hours later, and this time my husband let him in. My brother-in-law was still angry at me for not letting him in earlier, and my husband was upset I hadn't told him about his brother turning up or about him saying there was an emergency. Everybody sucks here. Husband needs to sort out his work life so you can enjoy time off together, but you really should have let him in. You can rightly argue he needs to keep his word and not let work derail another holiday, but you shouldn't use deception to achieve it. Hold on. Info. Was it actually an emergency? Why didn't you tell your husband his brother had turned up? What did your husband say when he learned his brother had gone to meet with him? Ooh. People just fly across the country to like, hey, we have an emergency. We've been trying to call you, but I guess we just had to fly out here because it's so much of an emergency. I would vote you're the asshole only because if there had actually been an emergency, like, I don't know. I think the husband sucks here the most. Like, he can't even get his work life sorted out for like a week. It's ridiculous. Am I the asshole for my husband missing a meeting while I was babysitting his laptop? Okay. Am I the asshole for requesting a dress code from my sister after she embarrassed me at a public family dinner? Oh yes. I normally wear jeans and a sweater / blouse depending on weather. Hair up, clean clothes. I don't dress like a slob, just like a normal human being. Imagine wearing jeans, chat. In January, we had a small dinner at my sister's. I wore my normal attire, jeans, and a green sweater. Hang on. Hold on. What am I imagining here? Oh, the camera stopped working? Oh my god. All right, well that's fine. We don't need camera. We just need the melodious sound of my voice. Yeah, it's been losing its charge. I think I need a new camera. I thought maybe Daria would be a good example of someone who kind of dresses normal, but she doesn't wear jeans. Okay. That's what everyone else was wearing. Okay, 2 weeks later, we're having a dinner at a restaurant, and my sister stresses to me multiple times to wear something nice. It's an upscale restaurant, dress up, etc. So I go the 9 yards. Makeup, nice dress, heels, do my hair, jewelry. I show up and it's a fucking dive bar. Everyone else, including my sister, was in, get this, jeans and t-shirts. I look like an idiot in a goddamn Calvin Klein bodycon, dressed to the nines. She told me it was a formal dinner and to dress accordingly. I was pissed, but I kept it together. Everyone pretended they didn't notice, but as we left, I pulled my sister aside and told her I don't appreciate what she did, and honestly felt she'd been pretty shady to pull that on me. She said I looked good for once. Instead of dressing like a bum, she wore an outfit basically identical to what I'd worn for the family home dinner, just in a different color. I know it's petty as fuck, but every time there's been a get-together now, I text my sister who did this and ask for an explicit dress code, even if she's not involved in planning. It annoys her, but I'm probably gonna stop after this next one. Okay. That's just weird. I don't know that there's any assholes. Just replace it with a picture of a judge. That's actually not a bad idea. Let's get a judge in here. Oh, this is perfect. This is a really big picture. Hold on. Desktop. Yep. Don't worry, chat. Don't worry, I can do this. I know what I'm doing. This is a thing that people do. There we go. Not the curly wig? No, this is just like a Judge Judy type judge. Perfect. Where were we? Am I the asshole for getting a white chocolate cake for my daughter's first communion when my special needs nephew is allergic to chocolate? Chocolate is her favorite. White chocolate is not chocolate? Okay. Well, I don't know. Am I the asshole for telling my stepchildren their paternity isn't my fault? No. Let's find another asshole one. Those are the best ones. Am I the asshole for being upset my family didn't care that I graduated? I mean, whoop-de-doo, you graduated, who cares? Celebrating first communion's weird. Yeah, people will just pick any random nonsense to celebrate. Like, at least wait for confirmation or something. White chocolate is fake chocolate and should be shamed, but it's still tasty. I don't know. I'll eat basically any kind of candy that's not super fruity. But not a huge fan of white chocolate, honestly. You thought I was gonna go with Judge Harry from Night Court? Oh, Vulcan Rider would like that. Hang on. I can get that. I just typed in judge in Google and took like the second result. Yeah, here we go. All right. Oh, this is perfect. This is great. We're gonna grab this one. Oh, he died like a couple years ago, huh? This is a picture. This is from his obituary. I just want the picture, please. Google, please. Not open link, open image in new tab, please. There we go. Can fix this. Perfect. Much better. All right. All right. Are we good now? Is everybody satisfied with my choice of picture in lieu of camera? Am I the asshole for telling my wife to shut up during labor? Ooh. Okay. First of all, F was pregnant and I gave birth 2 days ago. Our first child was from my wife's pregnancy. Okay, so this is a 2 women are married. Okay, it's 2022. That's fine. We decided this time it would be me who would give birth to our daughter. My wife had a natural home and humanized birth. Ooh, the ecstatic birth. How exciting. It was a unique but extremely terrifying moment. I was in doubt about which birth I would like to have because I was very afraid of the natural and of the pain, but my wife encouraged me and said it was a unique moment without demeaning cesarean mothers and that it was worth every second. So I decided to have a natural and humanized but hospital birth. When my water broke, I went to the hospital out of encouragement. She didn't, but push or stay on top. I decided to go ahead without anesthesia. What do you mean stay on top? On top of what? Do you know hell? I played rock, paper, scissors and lost best of 3 with the devil and came back. Well, this is one way to convince people to never have children. I told my mother to shut up while my wife was in labor, not the asshole. Okay, so Rilla has some experience with this. It was a lot of pain in the expulsion phase. There was poop everywhere. My wife was wonderful, but due to the stress of childbirth and pain, she was irritating me a lot, saying, go strong, go on, you're strong, just a little longer. Oh, that would be so annoying. And when she said, can you take a little more pushing? I just said, shut up. I'm just like this because you decorated and flowered this birth for me. I was screaming and crying. She went quiet and our daughter was born after a while. I honestly forgot I said that. It was really a moment and in a lot of pain, but I noticed she was weird with me and after we went to the house. Also, it was on film. After one day of silent treatment, I asked her why she was like this and she got mad saying, don't you know? You told me to shut up at the birth of our daughter. I was so embarrassed and almost ruined the moment. I even apologized, explained it was purely for the moment. She's super upset with me. Am I the asshole? The birth wasn't that traumatizing for me, by the way. It sounds like it was. Not the asshole. Fathers get cursed up, down, and sideways by laboring mothers and get over it just fine. Your wife should be able to handle a shut up. I don't know. I don't have kids. I guess I'm gonna have to go with the consensus on this. Not the asshole. You're pregnant. You're having a baby. Like things are going to happen. What the fuck's wrong with her wife? Her wife apparently just had the natural at-home ecstatic birth. So, you know, she thought it was all fun and games. She tells her wife on this. Am I the asshole for making fun of my brother-in-law after he lost a shit ton of money investing in crypto? Oh, yes. So my 27M sister-in-law's husband, 31M, is a piece of work. He's a bit of a braggart and gets off on boasting about his money and the things he's bought with said money. Me and my wife aren't exactly struggling, but we're not as well off as them. Every time we visit them, he'll pull me aside to show off whatever new gadget he bought. Whenever we try to go out for dinner with them, he'll insist on paying in the most condescending way possible. That sounds like somebody that I know. He'll also try to give me financial advice, which is just annoying. My wife doesn't like him, but she puts up with him since she's very close to her sister. I'm kind of close to my wife, so I put up with it for her. We're like 4 people removed here. The brother-in-law brags about how he has a kitchen island and that makes him rich. So he got into crypto a year ago and shortly after NFTs. I work in finance and have learned a decent amount about crypto. I'm not some expert, but that doesn't take a rocket scientist to see how it's a Ponzi scheme. It's not really a Ponzi scheme. It's like a greater fools type situation, but sure, whatever. When he brought me this advice, we argued on it. He accused me of not wanting to give my wife the life she deserves. Have fun staying poor. He also said that he was going to make his family millionaires and called me naive for not wanting to join in. I don't know if y'all have been watching the news lately, but a lot of cryptos aren't doing so hot. We hosted them for dinner with them last night. It was awkward. There was some tension there, but I really couldn't tell why. In a period of silence, I asked him, so are y'all millionaires yet? In that moment, my wife's sister put her head down into her hands and was in tears in seconds. Her husband explained he bet money they couldn't afford to lose on various cryptos that crashed. He lost a shit ton of money and said unless they figure something out, they won't be able to stay in their house or pay for their 2 daughters' preschool. This is fake. I was immediately met with a glare from him and my wife. I felt bad, but I honestly didn't know, and I wouldn't have mocked him. I knew he lost money, but I didn't know he was going to lose that much. When they left, my wife accused me of being in a dick measuring contest against him and said I took it too far. I tried to argue that he started it, and she told me I was being a child. Am I the asshole? Just because, I don't know. I think hating on crypto bros is real hot right now, so people are going to say not the asshole. But this is clearly fake. Like, it's got the perfect Reddit bait. It's got crypto stuff. It's got the wife like glaring at you for harassing her brother-in-law. It's just whatever. Not the asshole. Sure. All right. What's up next? Am I the asshole for snapping and telling a girl she's not important enough for me to flex being fluent in a language? Okay. Am I the asshole for letting mother-in-law botch my cookie recipe? Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after she didn't pick me to be her bridesmaid? Like one of the bridesmaids, right? Because that's the bridesmaids are like there's multiple people, and the other one is the maid of honor. Hex says, or there's no free money, or if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. Yeah, Hex is just he's shouting out some interesting financial advice. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Am I the asshole for not giving my sister breast milk for her unborn baby? Oh boy, I'm not touching that one. Am I the asshole for trying to shut my wife up and get her out of my work party because I was worried she would hurt my career? Oh no. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister out when she blew my money on an online game? All right, I gotta check this one because it has gaming. She was playing World of Warcraft and she spent all her grocery money. All right, my 22F sister. Okay, so this is a 22-year-old lady whose sister is older than her. She's been living with them for with me and my 3-month-old for the last 2 months after her company liquidated. How did the career ruining wife guy get NTA? We'll check that one next, Rilip, don't worry. She wasn't there long enough to receive a redundancy payment, so she was kind of screwed. Thanks a lot, US labor law. Aside from the issue here, R was a good housemate. She was a good housemate. She was clean, had people over, but never too many or too often, helped out with the baby, just generally okay to live with, especially since she has actually been job hunting. All right, sounds pretty reasonable. Now the problem is, my sister was a recovered gambling addict. All of her bank cards have gambling blocks in place because her addiction was so severe. She even would blow money on online games such as Coinmaster. I don't know what that is. It doesn't even need to be real money she's winning. Just the spinny shit gives her that happy chemical. All it results in is losing money. She was using my tablet to do this, which I unknowingly had Google Pay set up. Put the child locks in place at least. I never changed the settings so that I'd need a password. That was your first mistake. Since I thought I was the only person with access to it, I was wrong. Yesterday alone, my sister managed to blow my entire paycheck on Coinmaster, and I wasn't aware until the morning when I went to buy groceries, got my card declined, checked my banking app and emails, and she had managed to spend everything on game packs. This meant I wasn't able to grocery shop for the next 2 weeks, and while I can survive on what I have, the baby cannot because we're low on everything for him, but I can't get what I need. I've posted on Facebook groups, but they haven't been much help yet. I admit I was more angry than I should have been at my sister, and as soon as I got home, I kicked her out. I didn't give her a reason or let her know I know she spent everything. I just kicked her out. When our parents called to ask why, I explained, and they said I'm being unfair, and that since I didn't set up necessary protection and knowing she has a problem, I'm being an asshole. Wow. What the hell? Not the asshole. Not the asshole times 1,000. Spend all our food money on Coinmaster? I don't even know what that is, and I can tell you that's ridiculous. There's no more angry than needed on theft. Yeah, really. I can't believe you kicked our daughter out or whatever. All right, Rilip wants to see this one. Hey, mom and dad, why doesn't the sister stay with you since she's your kid and all? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Am I the asshole for trying to shut my wife up and get her out of my work party because I was worried she would hurt my career? Isn't this a bit from American Dad? My wife has always known I'm pretty good friends with my boss. I guess she assumed my boss was significantly older than she is due to her being CEO. She's 26 and the owner's daughter, but that was never clarified. Recently, we had a party to celebrate a large accomplishment for the company. This was just a chill thing at a bar, so I told my wife if she didn't want to come, it was fine because she does sometimes get anxious at events like this. She wanted to come, and it was her first time meeting my boss. She was shocked at how young she was, which I get. When most people picture a CEO, they're probably thinking 40 plus, but she was just pissed at my boss's outfit. She was wearing a crop top, which kind of looked like just a lacy bra, but with wide leg pants and heels. I think she made it look pulled together. I made a joke about, well, if you don't like it, good thing you don't have to wear it, and my wife became upset. She demanded to know if I thought she looked inappropriate, so I just agreed, though I thought she looked fine. After a few drinks, she was trying to tell me how much she hated my boss because that skank, because she hugged me and because she was sitting on some guy, which I didn't see that part. I was freaked out that someone was going to overhear and I was going to get back. It was going to get back to my boss. I told my wife I wanted to leave, but she refused. She was fine for a couple minutes and she began, maybe I'm just crazy or old fashioned, but her outfit, she's wearing clothes at a bar. Like, what's wrong with you? Maybe I'm an asshole, but I had to get out of there. I spilled a drink on her and convinced her it was time to go. She hates being dirty, so she went willingly. I think she knows I did it on purpose and she's pissed, but she feels that I put my career before her. Ooh, boy. Vulcan Rider's here. He saw the picture, guys. My life is... I've successfully managed to do that. I don't know. You get how he got that, not the asshole? Yeah, his wife is being completely ridiculous. Like, oh my gosh, this woman is wearing clothing that is appropriate for her age at a bar. Yeah, why don't you just go bang your boss? Like, if you love her so much, come on, man. Get over it. Your wife's comments about your boss were inappropriate at a work function. You tried to leave and she refused. While childish, your actions were warranted to get your wife out of there before she affected your job, not the asshole. It doesn't matter if the CEO's 26 or 56. Yeah, your wife is clearly jealous or insecure or both and couldn't handle it. Oh boy, yeah. So this was not a push your wife in the pool because she's embarrassing you situation. This is a, like, your wife is making inappropriate comments about your boss. Am I the asshole for not paying for my landlord's damaged car after he rammed his car into mine? Oh, that's a sticky one. Am I the asshole for defending my friend and saying my wife needs to work on her insecurities? My wife needs to work on her insecurities. All right, okay. The user deleted their username after this. I've been married to Jessica for 13 years. We have 2 girls, 12 and 5. I have a female friend, Madison. Could have gone with the obvious Ashley Madison, but who I have known since before I was with Jessica. This never caused much of an issue because I met Madison through her ex-husband, who is still one of my best friends, and we usually hang out in a group, so Jessica has never felt jealous or threatened. That's what they say. Hell, it happens. She doesn't like Madison, though, due to clashing personalities. She feels Madison and our mutual friend, her ex's wife, look down on her, but she can't come up with any examples and admits it is just a gut feeling. I don't know what to believe there because other people have told me they felt that it was Jessica who hated the 2 other women. There's too many women. Madison has a... Oh, I know this one. Okay. Madison has a glamorous life. She used to work in fashion and married a guy with fuck you money. So my 12-year-old has always been in awe of her just due to the clothes and the parties. This annoys Jessica, but we never thought much of it. Jessica's more the girl next door type and looks down on Madison for some of the glamour. My 5-year-old has been having some behavioral issues lately, so we're working on that, but everyone is a little tense. Madison and her current husband stopped by Saturday night after attending some sort of gala fundraiser because he lent me something and needed it back. Madison was dressed up from the gala. Our 5-year-old heard the noise and it woke her up. We had been having a tough day with her behavior and my wife was burnt out. She saw Madison and said, "You look like a princess. You're so pretty and your dresses are so pretty. I wish you were my mom." Madison laughed and was like, "Oh, thank you," which Jessica thought was insensitive. When they left, she went off about what a bitch Madison was. I thought it would blow over, but she has been pressuring me to distance myself from the friendship. I argued Madison didn't even do anything and it was about a dress, not my wife. But Jessica says that it doesn't matter what Madison did, she's my wife and she's uncomfortable, so that should be my priority. Today she brought it up again and I snapped at her and said she needs to work on her insecurity. No one did anything wrong. I'm entitled to a life and friendships which don't get to be dictated by her insecurities. Obviously that did not go over well. Okay, kind of an asshole. Yeah, I mean, the consensus is asshole. I'm gonna say telling your wife to work on her insecurities is pretty much an asshole move, yes. But there are ways to like diffuse the tension that could have been pursued. And in this case, since we're looking at OP specifically, he could have been like, "Listen, all right, I'll, you know, we'll let it cool off a little bit. I know you guys have clashing personalities. I don't know. You're the asshole. Your child said this. I wish you were my mom. And you did nothing to correct either your kid or Madison." I mean, Madison didn't do anything wrong. But 5-year-old kids, they say crazy stuff. You say both assholes. Yeah, I think both assholes, and also like kids say the darndest things. Sometimes they just do that. Your wife sucks for trying to dictate your friendships. Madison sucks for not sticking up for your wife. I mean, she was just there. Like, you kind of suck for not better understanding where your wife is coming from and not doing more to reassure her. This is why you should not have kids, people. Because it just complicates the relationship in ways that are unpredictable. Okay. Am I the asshole for walking out of a wedding I was supposed to host? Am I the asshole for changing the Wi-Fi password to teach my husband a lesson? What is the lesson? Okay. Am I the asshole for not giving my 1-year-old niece an iPhone? No. I don't even have to read the whole story. What is a 1-year-old gonna do with an iPhone? Like, suck on it, presumably. Like, try to eat it. Am I the asshole for walking out on dinner with my parents and causing them to fall out? Oh, okay. I'm bisexual. I came up to my parents. Okay. I'm not gonna read that one. Am I the asshole for making my daughter use dollar store shampoo and conditioner? Hey. It got asshole, so this, you know, this one's gonna be good. My wife and I have 3 daughters. Oldest is 16, middle is 14, and the youngest is 10. My entire family and my wife's family all has straight hair. My oldest and youngest also have straight hair. Then there's my middle with curly blonde hair and green eyes. The rest of the family has brown hair and brown eyes. I admittedly am not very close with her because I had doubts she was mine, and I had a hard time bonding with her due to that. All right, asshole, immediately. Like, she's your daughter. You've been raising her. Regardless of whether she's biologically your daughter, you're having a hard time bonding with her? Oh, I'm sorry. That must be very difficult for you. Don't take it out on her. She's a kid. My middle daughter insists that she needs special shampoo and conditioner because of her curly hair. It's true. Can we get an Emmykins confirmation here? She found some that wasn't too expensive, so I bought it for her, but she goes through the conditioner like water. Yep, that's how it works. She came to me after a little over a month and said she needed another bottle. I told her she doesn't and that her conditioner should last her at least another month, but probably longer. But she insists that you need to use a lot of conditioner for curly hair. I bought her another bottle and told her to use less because she wasn't getting another one for at least 2 months. She used it again in a month, so I bought her shampoo and conditioner from the dollar store. She had a meltdown about how this is going to ruin her hair and that she's just got it to a place where she liked it and it was manageable. She blames us for her hair being uncontrollable for most of her life because we didn't learn how to take care of curly hair, even though it's not different than straight hair. Whoa, okay, hey, that's wrong. She even threatened to shave her head. Do it. Which I know she won't do because she's obsessed with her hair. Now she's refusing to speak to me and she's being extremely disrespectful to me and my wife. My wife thinks we should give in, but I think she needs to learn her lesson. Am I the asshole? One bottle a month is extremely normal. This man lives on the moon. Well, he lives in the land of straight hair, apparently. You're the asshole. Wow, yes, women with curly hair do need a different type of shampoo and conditioner. Dollar store shampoo is likely going to damage your hair. Also, do you not understand how traits are passed out? Was there a reason besides your daughter's physical features you thought she wasn't yours, causing you to not properly bond with her? You suck. You're the asshole. Oh, he's getting off so easy if she's just using extra conditioner. Yeah. Oh boy. Admittedly, I'm not very close with her. So this is a quote from the post. Because I had doubts she was mine, I had a hard time bonding with her. You're the asshole. Fix that. She blames us for her hair being uncontrollable for most of her life because we didn't learn how to take care of curly hair. She's right. Even though it's not different from straight hair. Yes, it is. Yeah, exactly. 100%. This dude is a huge asshole. Doesn't want to learn how to take care of his kids. Or the one kid, I guess. That's why the asshole ones are the best ones. Am I the asshole for telling my teacher about my medical condition? I have a condition where my reproductive system is tilted back extremely far. Okay, that's I've never heard of that one before. I guess that you get UTIs. Okay. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my parents see my children after they went to my ex's baby welcoming celebration? What is a baby welcoming celebration? Do we need to find out? All right, my ex-husband and I were together for 12 years, dated for 5, married for 7, had 3 children before we got divorced after he came out as gay. Okay, well, you know, doesn't always work out. You had 3 children before you realized you were gay? What is this, the 1960s? Come on. I was greatly in the wrong for the way I first reacted. I said hurtful, uneducated things and accused him of using me. My parents, who knew he was gay before I did, told me to stop centering myself around his coming out. I wouldn't have been so enraged if children were involved and if he'd been more upfront about his sexuality to me. Yeah, I mean, everybody sucks here right now. After we got divorced, my ex and his husband started a relationship and eventually got married. Good for them. My parents are very friendly with my ex and his husband. I can understand and sympathize since my ex's own family is incredibly homophobic and keep pressuring him to marry a woman. My ex's husband is a lovely man we've known since high school. Although I'm jealous of him, I can't bring myself to hate him when he's done nothing wrong. A few months ago, my ex and his husband announced they were expecting a child. My parents got really excited, a little too excited in my opinion. My mother proposed the idea of going shopping for baby clothes and essentials. My father posted about the news and even told my ex about all the things he'd love to do with his child when they're older. What the? Okay. I mean, it's great that they still have a good relationship with the ex, right? I felt off about the way they were treating my ex, but when I tried communicating with them about my feelings, they shut me down. I was worried about how my ex would handle 4 kids, 3 of them with which he shares custody. I again expressed how I felt to my ex this time, and my parents inserted themselves into the conversation. They said, I need to stop trying to police my ex's life and let him live freely since he, I quote them, wasted 12 years with me. Ooh, jeez. Okay, now we've, yep. We're approaching not the asshole territory. I was ready to flip a table. They were only thinking about him and never me. I didn't say anything to not cause any issues. Last week, their child was born and they hosted a celebration the day after. So it's like a baby shower, I guess. I congratulated them and gave presents, but didn't attend as it was my day with our 3 children and didn't want the children to disturb the baby. My parents had promised to come over and help take care of the children, but they bailed on the last minute to go to my ex's baby welcoming celebration, also known as a baby shower. I held back my anger and hung up on them, then called my sister for help. After a few hours, my parents showed up at my doorstep. I told them to leave because they made it clear to me that I'm not important to them. Therefore, they're not worthy of seeing my children. They called me childish and repulsive. You think they use the word repulsive, chat? Or is this is a little bit of embellishment? Repulsive. That's not a word anybody uses in real life. I kept ignoring them and refused to unlock the door. After a few hours, I received a text from my ex asking me if I was okay and spam messages from my parents about my outrageous behavior. I can understand why they're protective of my ex, but I think they're crossing the line. I'm biased and bitter though, so am I the asshole? Everyone seems to be kind of an asshole here. Your parents for like being obsessed with your ex for some reason. Your ex for not really recognizing what's going on, and you for, I don't know, you're just an asshole. Let me get this straight. You were with this guy for 12 years. The whole time he knew he was gay. Your parents found out before you. None of them had well, it was only a few hours according to the edit. That's kind of shitty. Like, I get that you can, if you're questioning your sexuality, you grew up in a very homophobic household, you're like, okay, well, I guess everybody has these thoughts, but I have to marry a woman because my parents will hate me if I don't. And then, you know, times change. Am I the asshole for asking my cousin to step down as bridesmaid? Ooh, here we go. Me and my fiance are getting married in a couple of months. I have 6 bridesmaids, including Jack's sister Mary and my cousin Cassie. Okay. Jack has another sister, Anne, who wasn't invited to the wedding originally because of some family issues. This conflict has now been resolved, and we later gave Anne an invite. Now, I initially planned to ask both Mary and Anne if they wanted to be bridesmaids, but obviously because of the issue with Anne, I didn't end up asking her. Anne is now saying she should be a bridesmaid as well, and while it's a bit last minute, I do think she should be a bridesmaid since I was originally going to ask her anyway. I still only want 6 bridesmaids, so I asked Cassie if she would step down so Anne could be in it. I told her I knew it was unexpected. We would compensate for her dress. It's already been ordered, and she was still invited as a regular guest. Cassie seemed confused and asked why, and I asked her to be, a bridesmaid to begin with. Good point. To which I explained the scenario with Anne and that she deserves the spot more. She deserves the spot more, chat. Cassie eventually agreed. I thought that was the end of that, but some of my other bridesmaids said that I was being unfair to Cassie by kicking her out and that I should apologize to her. I got mad at that because I didn't think I did anything wrong, because you're a bridezilla. Perhaps not ideal, but not wrong. So I called Cassie and asked if she'd been bad-mouthing me to the other girls. That's not what you do when you call someone up. You say, hey, look, I heard that, you know. She replied, she said that she just said the truth about me kicking her out, to which I said that it wasn't her place to say it, and I would have told them. What do you mean it's not her place to say it? You did it. Cassie argued they had a right to know. I said she was acting privileged, and it wasn't her right to be my bridesmaid. I'm not going to this wedding anymore. Jack and his family think I did the right thing by standing my ground, but my mom gave me shit for being harsh to Cassie. Am I the asshole? Yes. She's lucky Cassie didn't burn down the church. Rilip? Yeah, exactly. I can't believe you typed all that out and didn't come to the conclusion you're the asshole by yourself. Less self-awareness than a toaster oven. Oh, these comments are brutal. I love it. You're the asshole. It's very rude to tell someone, I want you to play this important role in my wedding because I value your friendship so deeply. Wait, never mind. Someone better's available now and you're the lowest ranking. Without even an apology. Especially after they've invested not just money but time and effort that you can't reimburse into preparing. It says something about how rude OP's demand is on a basic respect level that I didn't even think about the money angle. I don't think she was out of line to ask Cassie to step down, but yeah. Went around about it the entirely wrong way. You're the asshole. Your behavior's gross. If I heard this and was going to your wedding, I'd be returning your gift and making other plans. If I was one of the other bridesmaids, I'd be out. Screw your perfect 6 bridesmaid pictures or whatever that number is for. You're the asshole and you just showed just how much she means to you. To a lot of people, being a bridesmaid is a huge honor and shows that someone cares. So apparently, Anne, there was some family issues, but she somehow gets in above Cassie because they've been resolved. Like, how petty are these family issues where you couldn't set them aside for the wedding, but now that you have, you can just kick Cassie out? Ridiculous. How hard would it have been for her to have 7 bridesmaids? No, she has to have the 6. It has to be 6. Didn't you read the post? It said, I still only want 6 bridesmaids. So you can't, no, it has to be 6. You're the asshole. It's your wedding. You can do what you want, but having someone be in the bridal party and then later changing your mind is a huge asshole move. And then to get angry at her for telling other people, I guess I'm not a bridesmaid anymore because they kicked me out to make room for Anne. You're mad she told the truth about the situation. It's not even like she made up a lie. This is great. This is a really good one. Yeah, 6s are a lucky number, says Emmykins. I guess she can't have 7. Anne deserves it more. What does that even mean? Yeah, that's another good question. I assume it means she's prettier or I like her more, whereas I just tolerate the others. Or she's uglier and I don't want to be upstaged on my very special day. OP is the asshole, but I think it was more likely that OP decided that sister outranks cousin. Yeah. I don't know how that all works. I've never had to do that. Just have 7. Can't you see how ugly the bridesmaids picture will look with OP in the middle when there's 7 bridesmaids? She would be surrounded by 4 on one side and 3 on the other. Wow. That's a real banger of a am I the asshole? Okay. Yes, absolutely the asshole. Am I the asshole for calling my dad and now husband out at their engagement party, then missing their wedding because I refused to apologize? I don't know. 16M don't care. I don't want to read a bunch of posts by children. Am I the asshole for selling shared items my roommate and I use but I own? I don't know. Am I the asshole for my response after a guest told me to sit on his lap? Wow. 31-year-old female, so this isn't like a young girl, was invited to an event via my friend. I won't get into details about it, but I found out last minute that my friend couldn't come, so I went alone. Since I was really looking forward to seeing the atmosphere and enjoying a bit after working all week. I arrived to the event. Turns out it's a swinger party. Guests were already seated. There was already someone talking to the mic. I stood there in the corner looking for an empty chair. Suddenly, a guy in his 30s waves for me. I looked closer, thinking he must have had an available chair next to him or something, but then as I was approaching, he proceeded to pat his lap and tell me I could sit there. I was shocked and completely caught off guard. I freaked out from the inside, but remained calm and loudly responded, "No thanks, but my ass is too big for your small lap." Suddenly, Pete paused. Some in the back laughed, which made the guy look red in the face. He mumbled something about just trying to mess with me / crack a joke, and there was no need for my uncivil, inappropriate comment after asking a woman to sit on your lap. Yeah, okay. I ended up getting a chair from a gentleman in the second raw, I guess, and remained seated till the event was over. What was the event that everybody's seated? As I walked out, a couple ladies approached me asking what happened and told me my response was too inappropriate for this event and for saying it out loud. That's a butt too far. I tried to cut the conversation. They told me my behavior was inappropriate and made the whole event look bad and embarrassed for a simple joke attempt at teasing. I don't know. I went home feeling bad about it and guilty. I don't understand how your comment is more inappropriate than his, not the asshole. This sounds like a weird event. People are sitting and there's a guy on the microphone. It's like a church thing. You need to pick better. Yeah, what the heck? If my friend invited me somewhere and then flaked out at the last minute, I would not only be pissed, I wouldn't go. It's weird. I wish they would go into more details about the event because it sounds really like awkward. Okay, what was this one? Am I the asshole for calling my dad and now husband out at their engagement party? So their dad did not, the dad husband didn't get married. The dad, who was divorced from the mom, presumably married another guy, and now that's his husband. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend's parents that I'm not having children? Here we go. These are always good ones. It's also extremely long. Okay. So I, 26F, have been with my boyfriend, 26M, for over 2.5 years. Wow, 2.5 whole years, really? Incredible. That's a really long time. For the past year especially, I've made it very clear to my BF that I do not want children. I don't plan to have them ever. I like my life and I don't feel the need to bring a child into the world. Just how I've always felt. Every time I try to discuss it with him, he gets weird and says things like, "We can talk about it when the time comes." Leave now. The time is not coming. He wants to have kids. You cannot escape. I know he wants children, but when I tell him that maybe we should break up so he can pursue the future with someone else, he tells me he would be happy not having them as long as he's with me. He's lying. Weird, but okay. It's also come to my attention that my boyfriend has never told his parents that I don't want children, and they fully expect to have grandchildren one day. He's their only child. Sorry, just setting up what's to come. You gotta set the dominoes up before you kick them over. So yesterday, I'm sitting and having dinner with his dad, and we start talking about school shootings. All right, that's appropriate dinner conversation. And the state of the world for children. I take this opportunity to say that I don't ever plan to bring a child into the world and will never have kids. Surprisingly, his dad did not seem to care at all. He even agreed with me on my reasoning for not having them. He joked that his wife would be heartbroken to never be a grandmother, but agreed it was ultimately my decision. Now, that's okay. Good on you. My boyfriend, on the other hand, was visibly angry. During the conversation, I said, yeah, so I just don't think motherhood is for me. And my boyfriend said, yeah, you've made that abundantly fucking clear. It's all you've been talking about this entire conversation. Leave him. Run away. When we went back to his room to hang out for the night, he seemed mad at me and was barely talking to me. We were both sleeping in his race car bed, and then he started screaming at me and he slapped the chicken nuggets out of my hand. I know he's mad at me for telling his dad I don't want kids, but it was wrong. But was it wrong for me to do that? I feel like his parents should know that I will never provide a grandkid for them, and I don't want to give them false hope for the future if we end up together, which you should not. And he refused to tell them because he's in a bubble of wait and see, but I know I'm absolutely never having children. Am I the asshole? Why don't you wait and see? Should I have kept it to myself or let him tell himself? Or let him tell them himself? I feel guilty, like it wasn't up to me to drop that bomb on them, but I think they should know. There's a big update here. We're not going to read it. Not the asshole. Agree with the others. He's waiting and hoping to change your mind or for there to be a happy accident. I'm sorry, but I don't think this relationship is going to lead anywhere healthy for either of you. Yep. This relationship will not work. Wanting or not wanting kids is one of those things that's a fundamental deal breaker because the compromise either way is not reasonable or maintainable. You can't have, you know, you can't both have and not have kids. It's not a compromisable thing. Okay, back button. Back button. Reddit is broken. Reddit is broken. Hang on. There we go. Oh no, we got to start from the top again. And now the... Okay, let's get back down here. We were pretty far down. Oh wait, hang on. We skipped this one before. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for girl's wig after she shaved it because of me? Ooh. Pax Dragoon says it's pretty clear from how he handled the breakup that this was clearly him being the asshole. Wait, okay, are you gonna... Is Reddit broken, chat? What's going on here? I can't click on anything. Now I'm angry. All right, we're switching to old mode. Oh, come on. It was working fine. What's going on here? All right, hang on. We might have to end it because there we go. Okay. Just for some reason things are not loading. Not a good look, Reddit. Not a good look at all. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, there we go. We got it. We're back in. We're in old mode now, so it's gonna look a little bit weird. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I'll keep honoring my best friend's dying wish even if it makes her uncomfortable? Okay. My late best friend and I knew each other since we were little. We were next door neighbors and always played together. We even went to the same kindergarten, primary school, and middle/high school together. Wow, that's pretty cool. One day during our sophomore year, we started talking about how most of our classmates had started dating. We obviously weren't okay with that and decided to get one up on all of them by getting married. As a joke, I made her a fake ring and she gave me her scrunchie. A few weeks later, a drunk driver hit her. Okay, so we got a bridge to Terabithia type situation here. She sustained multiple injuries and was in the ICU for 2 months. The doctor told her family her survival chances are slim. In the only time I talked to her before she died, she made me promise to always visit her on our wedding anniversary and to wear her scrunchie during the visit. 4 years ago, when I started dating my girlfriend, this is just sad. I told her about it and asked if she was okay with it. She commented about how sweet and nice her tradition was and told me she was perfectly fine with it. Today was the 10th anniversary and I took the day off before my girlfriend went to work. She told me it's time to put this tradition to rest and move on because it was starting to get pathetic that I still wear a dead girl's scrunchie to celebrate a fake marriage that we had 10 years ago. I was furious at her comments because she wasn't just a dead girl, she was my best friend and like a sister to me. We grew up and did everything together. I told my girlfriend a long time ago we never had a sexual or romantic relationship. Our wedding was just a joke. It's not like I talk about her or keep her photos around the house or anything similar. The only times I've talked about her to my girlfriend is when I told her if she was okay with the tradition and if she asked me about her. When I told her I'll keep honoring my best friend's dying wish even if it made her uncomfortable, she left for work angry at me and hasn't come back home yet. It's been 13 days, chat. She hasn't come home in 13 days. Again, this one is just sad, not the asshole. And this guy makes a good point. Not the asshole, but if she's been fine up till now, maybe she's upset about something else. Like, there's been a feeling that their relationship has fallen into complacency, so she's lashed out at a display of you showing something else as being meaningful. After 4 years, she might be annoyed that he's still honoring a fake marriage without giving her the commitment of a real one with her. I wonder if she's reaching a point where she wants to get married and is feeling resentful. Sounds fake to be honest. I mean, again, we have to assume that these are real in order for the conceit of the judgment to actually stand. So as fake as it sounds, we must assume that it is. Am I the asshole for locking the door to prevent my husband from getting involved in my job interview? Okay. Female 33, am unemployed, but God knows I've been looking for jobs. I'm a sales rep for well over 5 months, right after I recovered from my knee surgery. Okay, didn't ask, don't need to know. My husband has a high-paying job. First, he suggested I leave my career as sales rep behind. Not up to his wealthy family standards. They mocked me for it a bit, or a lot. And stay home, but I refused because I love my job and want to grow in it. He suggested he finds me a better job since he has connections, but that's not in my field. Sounds like it's time for a new husband. Yeah, I've had several job interviews and my husband has ruined all of them for me, and here's how. He'd walk into the room whenever I'm having a potential job interview and introduce himself and take over the conversation with the interviewer. He'd tell them about how good I am, but slip in some bad stuff that eventually cost me the job. Where are you going to job interviews where someone can just walk in? His argument was that he's just making recommendations since he's connections and influences. I told him to stop and let me handle it. He sulked, saying he was just trying to guide me and whatnot. This dude's a fucking asshole. What the hell? You don't want your wife to have a job. I mean, I don't know. Kind of shitty. Like, don't marry someone who has a job. Several days ago, I got in a job interview, and after getting inside the room and before the interview started, I locked the door. My husband tried to come in and started knocking on the door, asking why I locked the door and telling me to let him in. I put my headphones on and used noise canceling, but okay, I'm assuming these are over the phone interviews or something, because if you can put on noise canceling, he kept knocking, telling me to open the door. After the interview was over, I unlocked the door and walked out. He went off on me, calling me disrespectful and awful to lock him out like that. How did the interview person not like hear the banging on the door? This remote interview, yeah. This is ridiculous. What the hell? I said I was sorry. I want to work for this company so badly. I can't let you ruin it again. Yeah, your husband. So first of all, you shouldn't have your husband being involved in your interviews to begin with. I don't know what he's just walking into the room being like, oh, hey, you guys interviewing my wife in here? That's pretty cool. She's pretty great. She's got great cans, but you know, she's not always a hard worker. Like, ridiculous. Not the asshole. This is not about him wanting to help. He's trying to control you. This is some 50 Shades of Grey stuff going on here. Am I the asshole for calling police on my neighbor after she keyed my car because of books I write? All right, I'll bite. I'm a single woman in my early 30s making my living writing and self-publishing adult fiction. All right. Oh, here we go. By adult fiction, I mean adult fiction with majority of the plot being steamy. I don't typically tell people what I write, but I do tell them I write books for a living under a pen name, and if you're questioning my writing abilities, I have an editor to correct my mistakes. I am not hiding it per se, but I am not telling everyone I meet what I do for a living, and none of my neighbors knew, only a bunch of friends. I live in a house alone. Pretty much all my neighbors are either young families or retired couples. My next door neighbor is a young couple. We've been polite to each other, but haven't been close or anything. Lately, the husband, let's call him Roger, became very friendly towards me, which I tried to ignore, but he's been getting too flirty for my liking, so I started avoiding him. They had a barbecue over the bank holiday weekend. Okay, so these people are British, presumably. And I was taking rubbish out to put in the bin. Absolutely. English spotted. Roger looked at me, waved hi, and whispered something to his friend, and they both watched me very carefully, which was incredibly creepy. On my way through my garden, I saw Roger's wife, Dahlia, leaving the house with her friend, and they both looked at me with disgust and whispered something to each other. It was weird, and I hurried back inside. The next morning, I found some religious leaflets put through my letterbox. They were just printed on normal printer paper and were warnings about lustful behavior leading to hell, etc. What is this, the 1960s? Come on. Threw them away, but kept finding similar leaflets put through my letterbox for the next week. Since I'm working from home, I decided to see who's leaving those leaflets, and to my surprise, it was Dahlia. I decided to confront her and ask her to stop putting religious leaflets through my door. Despite me being polite, she was not happy. She told me that I should rethink my life because what I write is disgusting. It's actually pretty vanilla. And she found her husband reading it at night, and you can imagine doing what? Oh no. What was he doing? Don't make us imagine it. She kept going on and on how I'm going to burn in hell, how I have no morals, etc. Well, I told her to stay away from me and discuss this with her husband, and I closed the door in her face. Don't know who, but someone told them what I do for a living. A day later, I found the word salt painted on my door. A few days later, I caught her keying my car. She was almost done with the word her. Well, I called the police on her, and since I installed cameras after the slut incident, you can write slut on the internet, it's okay. She's being taken to court over keying. Yeah, right. No one's ever been taken to court over keying someone's car. Are you kidding me? This is fake. I talked to my other neighbors. She asked about the police about it. She told me I went overboard. Dolly was clearly insecure, but she's a lovely woman, a great mother, blah, 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 blah. So not the asshole, but also it's fake. Okay. What's the next one we got here? We got to find some more asshole ones. I feel like there's not a whole lot of them. We did the am I the asshole for taking my daughter's bedroom and giving it to my son? Am I the asshole for showing my kids that their dad wet the bed? That was a good one. Am I the asshole for screaming at my sister and then slapping the chicken nuggets out of her hand and making her cry in front of everyone after finding out she took part in this prank with my ex? Oh, I gotta know about this prank. Okay. This will be the last one, chat, because it's already 8:52. My voice is starting to go, and I have to go to bed at some point tonight. So let's wrap this one up. Let's try to finish strong. Over a year ago, my relationship got put in a bad place because my ex, 27, who I broke up with 2 years prior, sent me a DM that I'm her baby daddy. Wait, what? Okay, hang on. Because my ex, oh, okay, this guy is 27. So you broke up, my ex I broke up with sent me a DM. Okay. Her daughter was under a year old, so I already knew it was BS. I told her, don't contact me again. She found my girlfriend's Insta and then started sending her messages to that this is my daughter. She's sorry for being involved and with me knowing I was in a relationship with my GF, but since I'm refusing to take responsibility, she didn't know who else to reach out to, trying to make herself seem all genuine. My girlfriend was sent fake screenshots that were supposedly from me, then also the one I actually sent her about leaving me alone because that's not my baby. Around this time, my girlfriend was 6 months pregnant. So the stress / hormones of that, plus the info she gave, the times we were supposedly met up after telling my girlfriend I'm working late, matches up because those were actually nights I had to work late. A likely story, Mr. Romeo. All that freaked her out and she really did start having doubts. It got to the point where my girlfriend was really scared and confused and she went to go stay with her parents for a few days. I was so scared I was going to lose my family. Then my ex apologized when she heard my girlfriend wasn't staying at our apartment. She just wanted to mess with us a little because she was still bitter. I dumped her 2 years ago. You're mental. We broke up. But she didn't mean for it to go that far. My girlfriend came back. It took some time to come back, but now we have our son who's 7 months and we're happier than ever. My sister told me about this last weekend when we were at our parents'. She got a little tipsy from the mimosas and we were joking about all our old embarrassing stories. She just blurted it out, but she thought it was okay to talk about now since me and my girlfriend are fine. I kept asking her why the hell she would do something like that, straight up arguing right there in front of my family. She says she was just being stupid and bored since she wasn't working and like my ex didn't realize it would get that bad, which is why they stopped him. But obviously my ex didn't rat on my sister. I called my sister a stupid bitch for almost wrecking my relationship. All right, come on, man, settle down. And what that put my GF through. My sister started crying, and this is why she didn't say anything, because it might get this reaction. Yeah, apparently, geez. She only said something now because she was embarrassed, and now we're in a good place, so she doesn't know why I'm so mad about it. It was a whole thing. My sister cried in the bathroom and wouldn't come out. I went home early to be with my girlfriend and son. They all say I behave like an asshole, and my sister decided to come clean and owe her an apology for my overreaction, just like she owed me one. Was my reaction warranted, though, or was it actually an overreaction? I'm still mad about it. I'm not entirely sure what exactly happened. So was this actually the ex, or was this the sister posing as the ex? Okay, hang, my girlfriend came back. Wait, what? Not the asshole. She'd no longer be my sister. She'd be dead. Your sister could have contributed to ruining your relationship and did contribute to stressing your pregnant girlfriend at the time. Your ex and your sister were not joking. Okay. It wasn't funny and you never laughed. They took your life and decided to throw it in a blender just because they could. Not the asshole. Sister's only sorry she got caught. No contact is the best option. Man, that's everybody's go-to on Reddit, huh? The sister and ex conspired together. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. It wasn't very clearly written. I don't know exactly what the conspiracy was. I guess getting scheduling information or something, or just being bored. All right, well, that's it for Reddit Court. Let's switch music here, and we'll try to see who we can raid. Really? Nobody's streaming tonight? What's going on here? Okay, well, whatever. It's only like a handful of you guys, so thanks everybody for coming out. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more XCOM 2. We're doing really well. Fingers crossed that continues. And have a great night.